I'll let you know when
Okay,
I get something
we're
back.
streaming
Okay, so
thing.
we may as well start without him then, and
Okay.
hopefully he'll turn up. As far as I know, he's supposed to be here. So
Okay.
Tornado
all right.
warning, 2 counties west.
Hmm.
Uh oh. If we see
Hmm.
Aaron get sucked out of the window, then we'll probably have to
No,
stop the
you'll see
game.
you'll see me disappear before you see me get sucked out of a
Leave the
window.
camera running though, okay?
I'm gonna say if you want, I can turn the camera to the window.
And remember, if you landed Oz,
You're better
I
off.
won't trust anybody if I land in Oz.
do
They're
not trust
all
the
a bunch
wizard.
of crooks.
Exactly.
You can
Exactly.
trust the Munchkin.
Especially don't trust the wizard. He's apparently a real fascist piece of shit.
I need to read
Well,
those
yeah,
books.
he's the most two-faced of them all. If anything,
Yeah, of course.
I'll trust the Wicked Witch before any of them. She's the one that told the truth out of all of them.
Margaret
Yeah.
Hamilton was
So,
awesome too as her.
yeah, so if you if you find yourself in Oz, you know what to do. How to get back is a different issue. That I can't help
Oh
you with.
yeah, say I'm probably gonna stay there for a
There's no
while.
place like yeah for 4 years.
Right,
No,
exactly.
there's no place like home. Actually, there's a lot of places like it. They all suck. Staying here.
Yeah, exactly. That number two.
Yeah. Okay, so we resume then on Monday. Are you actually employing the newspaper strategy?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a good question.
You've raised a good
This
point
would
that he looked like when I was in there and saw in the office. Did it look like he had a lot of information on the papers he was writing on?
he did, yeah.
Okay, he's probably
He was
we
using
figured it
he was
out.
using
He's probably figured it out. And at
he
this
was using a
point,
ruler,
hmm
and
ooh,
he has probably as much or more knowledge on it than you do.
right. Okay, so I tell you what I am going to do. Monday, I'm definitely going to have Rose and the children leave London and go out to Payne Hall for a few weeks. And I tell them I will send for them. That I'll send for them, but they should go out to Payne Hall, and I'm
Okay?
going to
I
let them
mean, you
take.
don't need much of an excuse to send them on their way.
Excellent. So she at least is not in London when whatever happens happens. Let me just check
Now,
that.
Mm,
she is not thrilled with the idea of missing this part of the season.
Um, yes, and I will confess to her that I believe that there might be some legitimacy. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm honest. There is some danger in London from these things, from these balloons. I'll call them balloons that have been sighted.
Okay.
I believe, and that I want her and the children safe until things calm down. But as soon as
Okay.
they will, I will send her a letter
Now
and
that's a
have
little
her
bit better.
called.
This,
Um,
the balloons are a thing, and some
mhm.
people might be scared enough to want to leave the city for a
Yeah,
bit,
and
just in
there's
case.
violence, and I don't, and just in case anything happens, and I want her and the children to be safe.
Yeah. Um, she does want to be back in time for the ball that Lord and Lady Latham are throwing.
Oh, God damn it! When is that?
2 weeks time.
Um,
It's to be the
I
next
tell
major
her,
event of the season.
yeah, we'll see, but I'm gonna tell her that probably things will have calmed down by then. Is my guess
Okay.
from what I've
Well,
read.
she's hoping so because the Latham ball is apparently going to be big,
Okay,
and it would be a shame to miss it.
well, I'll either come to Payne Hall or I'll mail them. Um, when I think when things have calmed down here in London.
Okay.
So I want her away and safe, and she can take one of the chambermaids or whatever, her servant, her lady's servant or whatever, and I'll
Okay.
keep Toby.
Okay.
And yeah,
So you're pretty much keeping nobody but Toby for
that's
the
fine.
moment.
Yeah, we can just
That's
we'll be
okay.
fine. Toby, he's good. He's a good man. Is Toby any good with a gun? Do I know?
As far as you know, he's never handled one.
Great. Okay.
Uh,
That's fun.
I mean, he does want to be a surgeon, and his hands are. I mean, the guy's got some dexterity to him.
Okay.
There's that. Don't think he's ever actually handled a firearm in his life.
All right. I'm not gonna drag him into this as well. Um, and then I'll send a note to Edgeworth and to Illingsworth and to Baker and
Hmm.
ask them to come over so we can have a discussion about this and figure out. what is our next step?
Okay, so this Monday, say the midday.
Yeah, like a lunch. We can have lunch together, if that's
Okay.
okay.
And if you don't want anybody around, you can send Toby out to bring something in, and then send him off to get his lunch at a pub or something.
Yeah, yeah, he can
And then
have
you
the
have the whole
afternoon.
house to
He
yourself.
can have the afternoon off.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have a nice
And he doesn't.
lunch. It's a
He won't
light.
turn down an afternoon off.
Yeah, we have a
So
light
that's easy to
lunch
do.
and some
Yeah.
tea and then I'm gonna ask if Edgeworth, are you still in? Yeah. Oh yes, Edgeworth. Are you still Dr. Blythe? Are you still in touch with him? Where is he? Is he still in Oxford?
Last we talked to him, I believe he was still in Oxford.
He
Yes,
hasn't
Keeper?
returned, as far as you know.
Yeah, as far as we know, he has not made it back from Oxford yet.
Because I,
Although he did say he was coming back, so expect him any day now.
I was thinking.
You should.
So Reverend Brown got this incantation to summon Anzalou or whoever, possibly what's his face? I'm forgetting names now. Azazil, that's the one.
Yeah.
Azazil
well,
or
we're not sure
Anzalou.
if
We think that might be the
Azazil-
same person.
or place or both.
Right. So he, we think Reverend Brown got the information possibly to either summon him or something, supposedly Anzalou, from the tablet.
Yeah, that's what
If you
what Blythe believes.
if you talk to Blythe, is there a way to reverse the spell? Perhaps
Disrupt it.
anything,
Perhaps.
or send it back away if it does come. Do you think he would have any idea about that?
We definitely asked the good doctor once he returns. He should be back in town any day now. In town any day now. Uh, there is the question of they did try to assassinate Dr. Blythe and take from him the I believe what was the name of the tome
That's
that
the
we
Book of Enoch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
the book
The
of
scroll, that
Enoch
scroll that he had, the whatever.
Yeah.
at least suggests that they're missing some component of their broader ritual
Yes, but that
that we
was
denied them.
Friday,
Hmm.
and since Friday,
He
Tommy
said,
Ludd has become some kind of avatar or something. So do they still even need the tablet or the Book of Enoch?
As a question.
I
Did you mention the theory about the false flagging of
yeah.
the
I figured during the meeting sometime I would bring that up. Like, well, I had this idea, but then I would shoot myself down when I say, but if he's got as much or more information than we have, it probably won't make a difference.
but I do like the idea of planting information in the newspapers. Perhaps we could lure them into a trap if first perchance a local reporter were to write a just a little human interest piece on the return of the good Dr. Blythe to London and
Oh,
specify a different location than where he actually would be, or perhaps even announce his return to his home, we could lay in wait for any assassins or thieves making their way to attack the good doctor.
that's not a bad idea. He'll probably send his. He'll probably send Graves.
Most likely.
Mm.
Wouldn't it be
Have you
satisfying
seen
to be the
Graves?
ambusher? But wouldn't it be satisfying to be the ambusher instead of the ambushee for once?
He's the size of an outhouse. He's massive.
That's not fair. You've seen outhouses smaller than him.
I was gonna say, I'm like thinking outhouse, more like smokehouse.
Yeah. And in all fairness, how many outhouses carry a knife?
Yes. Well, no. It's a good idea.
Like,
We could also
yeah,
do
my
that.
good
Why not?
doctor.
Why not?
Yeah.
My good doctor, if he doesn't comply with us, that is what an elephant hunting gun is for.
Do they have elephant? They don't have elephant guns yet, do they?
Not as
They'd have
such,
elephant guns.
We're limited
but
to.
No?
You're
but
thinking. You're
any
thinking
Ah,
any
Victorian. You're
particularly
thinking gaslight.
particularly
I think
large
Victorian. Thank you.
piece will do the job.
That is what. Sorry, I
Blunderbuss. We
should
do have blunderbusses, and
rewind.
that's like a big. That's
That's
kind of
what
like a
cannons are
shotgun.
for.
Cannons would be
Yeah.
nice.
That's what cannons are for.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fouling pieces
My
are.
apologies.
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
Uh,
if we put enough
depends.
bullets in him, he'll probably die. Maybe. I don't know.
I shudder at that thought.
You visibly shudder, like.
Kinda like, oh.
Are you all right, Illingsworth?
Just the thought of more multiple shots taking that man down frightens me.
Oh, yes, he's a very large man. He's blowing a horn at the service, the first service I went to. Um, all right, so you propose to hope to set up a trap to at least catch some of them, but we need to talk to Blythe first, or at least find out where he is, don't we? I mean, what if we say, "Oh, Doctor
he said
Blythe's
he was
home,"
coming
blah blah
back.
blah blah blah, and then he actually comes home at the terribly wrong moment?
Mm.
That could be
Yeah,
a
maybe.
problem.
Yes.
We don't know when he'll be back, but he
Right.
did say he would be back. It's just now a question of what's taking him longer to travel.
He's with
Is
Baker.
he still doing something in Oxford?
He originally
is he
went with
finding-
Baker, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he finding a safer way to come back? Maybe he's waiting to join a large group.
Yeah, he might be coming back via boat as well and taking his time, like
Yeah.
hiding out and something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's entirely likely the problem is he's trying to find a way back from Oxford that doesn't leave him alone on the road where an assassin might catch up to him.
Yeah.
Would it
Mm.
could it have been possible for him to get word to the Impossible Circle and maybe they're bringing him back?
The Impossible Chamber.
By,
Maybe.
Chamber.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
It doesn't matter. That's what
I don't know. I'm
Impossible.
just saying,
Whatever. It's fine.
yeah. Spitballing ideas.
Wait, did I send a letter? I sent a letter, didn't I? No. Could I have sent a letter this morning to the Impossible Chamber? If I haven't already, I'll send another one. If I've already sent one, I send another one. St. James Park is Azazil equals Azazil. That's all it's gonna say. And soon and question mark or something to that effect.
Okay.
And panicked handwriting right after Rose and the family leave, but before my next appointment that morning. If I can retro that in, I will have sent that on.
Easy to do.
Oh,
In fact,
boy.
you can fold it, seal it, and ask Toby to drop it at a
Bingo.
post box. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Okay. I don't know if we can depend upon them at all. Do we have any other allies?
Cameron and what's his face?
Cameron and Collins.
Oh,
They're still at the
Collins.
club.
They're
How do you
still
feel
at the
about
club.
that, Edgeworth? The
There's those two.
Impossible Chamber doesn't think that the lady Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by title, the Princess de Soubet.
Yeah, she can't be trusted.
They didn't say why, but they do
No,
not trust
right,
her.
exactly. So perhaps they can't be trusted. But
And do they know that the two of them are friends with her? We don't know that.
yes,
Mm.
they had a meeting with her. We made
Yeah,
it-
but the point is, does the chamber know that?
Oh yes,
The two of them
we
met.
sent that yes, that
Okay, you
information
sent
has
that
been
along,
sent.
so they
That
do know
like
that.
this lady, because I saw her come in and talk to Illingsworth later, I think
Yeah.
that night, and found out and said, hey, this lady, and they sent back. We don't know Cameron and Collins or what they're really about, but this lady is. We do not trust her. She's bad news.
Yeah, they would not say why though.
Right. They just.
So they know
that's
more
fine.
about her than you do.
Right. Yes, Illingsworth, Edgeworth. So, were you the one that talked to them before?
We did briefly. I did briefly have a conversation with them, but
No, you guys had brunch
don't
together or
think-
something, didn't you?
we did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, briefly, 3 hours.
We
Yeah.
don't both
Okay,
feel the
Illingsworth.
same.
Okay, Edgeworth. Yeah,
Yeah,
fine,
we
fine,
do.
fine. Be that way.
A brief chat.
Psychology
but,
check.
I don't know. I don't know how much more use they'd be. They seemed like, frankly,
Oh,
academics with their heads in the stars. I don't know. self-appointed wizards. I don't know how much help they would be in an altercation. I'm barely any help.
All right. It's up to you. If you don't think there'll be much help, that's
Well,
fine. Maybe 2 more targets
yeah, let's say
besides ourselves.
the more able-bodied men.
And they were looking for the same thing Brown was looking for. They're looking for Azazil, right?
Hmm.
We know where that is now.
You could
We
tell them.
do. I worry about they might be at the moment our focus is on the church, but let's not let it blind us to potential other dangers in the background. Perhaps they have a dark intent as well.
Well, we could ask them.
It's a game of shadows, gentlemen.
Yes. All right. So, okay. Do we have any idea when? We think we know where.
No, we don't have a timetable yet.
Great. I got to go back and talk to Reverend Brown again, don't I? Have you figured it out? Uh, well, there's that.
Well, maybe we could wait until Dr. Blythe gets back. Maybe he has found some more information that could help us.
You also have a potential location where this might happen.
Azazil?
Yeah.
St. James Park.
Yeah, we know that. We think we know that.
Yeah.
We also do have the scroll that we found. We wanted to look a little more into that, potentially the insignia on the wax seal.
Oh yeah, the underground bunker. The Roman dude.
Yep.
That hasn't been closely examined yet. I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's going to take hitting up a library, no doubt, and seeing if you can find anything that concerns itself with Roman seals.
So perhaps we want to, first off, we should examine the site that we believe this is going to happen at before any kind of insanity can pop off.
Well, the nice thing about St. James Park is it's open to the public.
Right.
For those of you with an area
Exactly.
knowledge of London, by the way, St. James is bordered by the Horse Guards Parade and Buckingham Palace.
Mm-hmm.
It contains a fair amount of woodlands. It contains 2 islands. There's a lake in the middle of the park on which are 2 islands. And the probably important part from your perspective, St. James Park has a reputation as an excellent location for a totally discreet fuck.
Oh boy.
So, if you are inclined to a quickie, St. James Park has a reputation as an excellent place where you will find enough tree cover that no one will disturb you. Also, there's a duck pond.
Like
So-
the duck pond.
Ducks and fucks.
I feel like I believe that if I invited Miss Delacourt out, that might be interpreted poorly.
And by the way, the reason that
Very
is
cool.
exactly the reason I bring it up.
I think very much so.
Because that's the reason I bring it up is 1, because it's funny, but 2, you're correct. If you were there with Ms. Delacour, people might get the wrong idea. Precisely because of the place's reputation as a place where such encounters frequently happen. So it would actually be potentially dangerous to your reputation to be seen with her there.
Oh yeah. Have you talked? You
Now,
haven't talked to
not true of
Delacourt,
the
have
horse,
you?
not true of like the Horse Guards or the parade or any such. Those are public spaces. It's the woodlands and the park and the area around the lake that people go to for a quickie. Largely because you got a lot of areas with trees, so there's a lot of privacy close to the rest of London.
Where in St. James Park do we think our calculations kind of indicate is likely the middle?
Hard to be certain.
Is it one of the more private areas, though?
It's hard to be certain.
Okay.
The sightings you got were by neighborhood often, not by street or by address.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, you're taking the center point of the neighborhood, and then the center point, exactly, and the center point comes out basically in the park. But
Wouldn't
which
he want
specific tree.
an area with open sky?
Well, the whole place is open to the sky.
Well, yeah.
There's no structures there, except that's
Okay.
not true actually. On Duck Island, there is actually a building.
What building?
It's
Okay.
there. It's the caretaker's shed.
It's a shed.
Because,
Okay.
well, no, it's really I call it a shed. The reality is they call it a cottage. It's really like a 3-room building. In other words,
Okay.
people live. There's a person who lives there.
Okay.
Their responsibility is taking care of the ducks, and oddly enough, a flock of pelicans, which have been living there since like 1680. By the way, do not shoot the pelicans.
White or gray pelicans?
Mostly white.
God damn it.
Also, they're conventional pelicans. The point is that they are technically owned by the crown,
Oh, gotcha.
and therefore do not shoot them. They
Like
are not
the-
for hunting. They are not for hunting.
Like the crows at London Tower.
Exactly. That they are part of the king's menagerie, as it were, and they should not be shot under any
I
circumstances.
just saw lightning
Leave the
outside of
pelicans
Aaron's window.
Leave the pelicans alone.
So we also don't have any idea what this final thing has to do with at all.
Nope.
We know that Billy Ludd is going to be involved. We know that Reverend Brown's going to be involved, and Graves is probably going to be there. But
Mhm.
we don't know if it's well. If he had the Enzelu tablet long enough, he might cast the spell that is on it, the summoning. And who's to say that the Shantax couldn't have taught him some things as well?
Right.
So that's likely to happen, but will he take his congregation there, or is it just going to be a few top men in his organization?
Is there
Oh, brother.
something in the stars or the position of the moon that would make them want to go at a certain time? No, don't know.
What
Shantak has
position-
appeared both during the day and the night, yes?
The Shantaks appear only at night, so far.
Oh, only at night.
We saw them. We saw one over Lord Vauxhall's ball, which was taking place in the evening. The
Okay.
reports of the sightings across London took place in the evening. So as far as we know,
Oh,
It'll probably
no,
be
wait,
in the...
we have seen one in the daytime.
Yeah.
Mr. LaCourte's original flight,
Yeah.
exactly.
except that one wasn't visible from the ground. Remember, she was several thousand feet in the air when she encountered it.
Too high.
So people
Oh.
on the ground have only seen them at night. But then again, how far up do they have to be before you could see them from the ground?
Well, it's
Are
the
they up
size of
there-
like
are they
a
up-
horse or
Are they up there
elephant,
right now, just farther away?
just floating around,
Yeah.
invisible
I mean,
to the naked
yeah.
eye.
Their physics aren't ours. I mean, that one moved through the window like that. Are they up floating around right now and just you can't see them because they're too far away or invisible or extra dimensional or
We need a
something?
punt and a punt gun. Actually, I don't think that would work.
You'd have to get it into the air.
Yeah, punt guns don't angle up real high either. They're
Yeah, and the
Kinda like-
recoil, well, it wouldn't reach. The range isn't impressive. And
No,
the
no,
recoil
no.
on such a thing?
and I think
Yeah,
they fire
also-
shot too. They don't fire like one big giant bullet.
That's correct. Also, I would not bring one of those into St. James Park. See the previous thing about don't shoot the pelicans.
Don't shoot the pelican. But I need to feed my family.
Because anyone, let's say, I don't know, wandering members of the Horse Guard, who saw you there with a gun designed for killing birds might get super suspicious about what you were doing with a gun for killing birds.
We're hunting French balloons. You fool!
In a place where, there are birds that are not to be hunted.
Yeah.
Passenger pigeons. They're good eating.
Okay.
They are.
They are.
Pelicans might be too, but don't shoot the damn things.
Right.
God, my dogs are going crazy.
Not those, anyway.
Where are
My
you
cat
going?
has gone
you
and
can't
hid.
go outside. Uh oh.
No,
So now you
it
could
I
go
don't
took a
know
to
long
what to
you
time.
do
could
next.
you could go to St. James at any time if it's just men.
Yeah, we could
No one
scout
will.
out there and see if anything strikes us.
Yeah, no one will trouble you there. You could go at night, likewise. In other words, if some young men are wandering around St. James Park at night, people are going to assume you're there to get your rocks off and are going to keep
Then
quiet about it.
no.
You
Um.
So it's a place that you can. No one will question your no one will question you there at any hour for different reasons.
So, would you two want to examine St. James Park while I see if I can dig up anything on our Roman connection?
Sure.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right.
I can
Yeah.
And that's the other thing.
certainly try.
If I don't have any appointments this afternoon, I'll just go out after lunch and
Okay.
I'll
Well,
wander around St. James Park and see what I can see. Maybe I'll find
you
some.
probably got some business to take care of, but you can get it done and then head out to the park.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I just have to use the restroom.
Okay, so while you're doing that, then, so the two of you in the afternoon on Monday take yourselves to St. James Park. It's a nice place, honestly. I mean, to hang out. It's a public space. Its proximity to Buckingham means it tends to be more upper class.
Mm-hmm.
Although you will, as you walk around, you will notice there are poorer people. Many of them are operating little carts. In other words, here you can buy cakes.
Right.
Here
Okay.
you can buy lemonade.
Sausages.
Here you can buy like roasted nuts.
Sausage on a bun.
Yeah, not yet. That comes along a little later. In other words, there's places to buy things like snacks.
Right.
You'll see people, some of whom you might even recognize in the daytime. Because in the daytime, this place is relatively family friendly for the upper
Mm-hmm.
and middle class. It's at night that you do not come here with your wives and children. The place takes on a bit of a different character after dark. But for the moment, people wandering around, there's the pond with its islands,
Mm.
and sure enough, a red slate roofed house on Duck Island. That's how you can tell them apart, by the way. West Island has no structures on it. There's people actually boating on the lake. So if you're feeling romantic, it's a nice, take your girlfriend for a row on the lake.
Okay.
And over there at one end, a place you can actually hire a boat for this purpose.
Okay.
So yeah, there's apparently a boat rental business here. But a rent a rowboat for a romantic, stroll across the water? Yeah, you can do that here. Notice, by the way, these are generally apparently considered something of a romantic venture. So if the two of you
No, we're not going to go on a
collectively
boat.
rented a rowboat, people would wonder what
I
you were
kind of
doing.
assumed we're staying separate of one another, but maybe within earshot should anything happen. But
Okay. You are both welcome to make yourselves a spot hidden roll,
Oh no. Hoo-yah.
because you're walking around looking for stuff
Come
that
on.
stands out.
Ah,
So
damn
no,
it. It was almost
and
a
also no.
19. It was cocked, but it fell to 49. That's fail.
Okay, so nothing to be noticed here. Uh, Also, as you're continuing to wander around, both of you are also welcome to make a reputation roll.
Oh no. 90. God damn. Okay. Out of
That won't help.
55. No. Failed big
I got
time.
I got a 69, which is a fail.
Okay, so
We're doing
for better
terrible.
or worse, you won't encounter anybody you know.
Oh, okay.
That could have been a good thing, could have been a bad thing, but you won't see anybody you know one way or the other.
Liza.
We didn't see anybody we knew.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is you also keep your eye out for people you've seen at the church,
I'm definitely keeping my eye out for people from the church.
and that's where you'll get a hit.
Oh no. What are they doing?
It's a young man. You don't know his name, but you recognize his face,
Right.
who's selling roasted chestnuts basically from a stand.
Okay.
In other words, he's just another vendor.
But
But
he
you've seen
definitely
that
is.
man. You've seen his face before.
Is it unusual they'd be way over here?
Unusual, a little bit.
Do I know what
I
he
mean,
does
this
for
is
a living? I don't know anything about this guy. I just recognize his face. Okay.
just you've seen his face at the church,
Um.
but you
Okay.
never talked to him. You don't know his name. It's just that face. He's got pox scars on the left side of his left cheek.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a squint to his left eye, probably a pox scar that healed badly.
Hmm.
He's a recognizable person. You've
Not somebody
seen
I
that
worked
man.
on then. Not somebody who came
No,
to me for help. Okay.
no. That pox encounter was probably when he was a child.
Yeah.
Now he's probably 20 years of age.
Okay. I'm gonna go over. Let's see if he recognizes me. I'll just buy some chestnuts, some hot roasted chestnuts.
That's where we'll need the dice roller and
Oh
see
no.
if he actually recognizes you.
I've been fairly prominent in the church for the last 2 weeks.
Yep, and he does actually, because as you walk up, it's Dr. Payne.
Oh,
Pleasure to see you,
yes.
sir.
Oh, yes. I I don't know your name.
It's Aaron, sir.
Aaron. How
Aaron
how
Small.
how nice to see you. Oh,
You too, sir.
yes. Oh, you've gotten yourself a nice job here.
It's temporary.
Oh, yes, of course. Uh, I'll get some hot roasted
Mr.
chestnuts from him.
Mr. Beach owns the stand, but needed help on Sunday. And then he said I could keep doing this through the week if
Oh,
I wanted to make some money.
very good.
So I said yes. And he'll, bag you up some
Yeah, I tip him.
chestnuts.
I
Good or
tip.
not, as anywhere else.
Yeah, I tip him heavily.
And
I
that
pay
will
for
very
them and then I
much.
give him an extra shit. That's for you.
Well, thank you very much, Doctor. Very much appreciated.
Is anyone else around?
You mean from the church?
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh, I thought I saw Mr. Lyman
Do I know
earlier
Mr.
today. You
I don't know
don't know who
Mr.
he's talking about.
Okay. Oh,
Someone
I
he
see.
recognizes, but you might
Right.
recognize his face, but you don't know his
I
name.
don't know his name. Okay.
Yeah, so there's apparently a Mr. Lyman or someone's name like that. I bet if
Mm.
you saw his face, you'd know him. But the point is that he knows him by name, and
Right, right,
you
right.
know him perhaps by face.
I don't know that name, I don't think.
Oh,
I
he's
haven't
been
made the
there a couple of
acquaintance.
times when you've been there.
Oh, has he? Oh, good, good. Yes. I've made the acquaintance of many people. I've been rather shocked. Well,
The tall fellow with
struck.
the red hair.
Recall a tall fellow with red hair?
Kinda, yeah, maybe. Okay, yeah, sort of.
Was he in line
No,
after
no,
the service?
no.
Oh, oh,
He left. He didn't stay for food.
oh, I see, I see. Hmm.
See, he owns this and a couple of the other booths. He's better off than most. You see,
Mm.
I mean, not quality, sir, like you, but better off than most.
We're all the same. I'm going to quote Reverend Brown. One of the things he said that none of us are higher than others.
That's true, sir. Thank you.
And I'm pat
It's easy
his
for me to
his
forget.
arm reassuringly.
Yeah. I don't know if Mr. Lyman's still around. I thought he was planning to take a boat ride.
Oh, I was thinking about. I kind of looked towards the pond and said, I was thinking about that as well this afternoon. The fresh air is quite nice today.
It is. And
Well,
they say it's going to rain, but not till tomorrow, I think.
I see, I see. Well, it was good to see you, Aaron, and it was nice to
You
speak
too,
with you.
sir.
Yes, and I hope you find yourself well employed here.
That's what I hope too, sir.
Now,
So,
is this guy crazy?
psychology roll will tell you
Okay.
that, or at least give you a shot at it. I mean, he's
Yeah.
certainly competent enough to be selling chestnuts to people.
Right. I'm trying to. I don't recognize. Ooh, 20 out of 50. That's a success.
Um, you've seen him before, so you know he's encountered the Shantak because he
Hmm.
was there at the church on Friday night. He seems perfectly normal, which
Hmm.
is highly suspicious.
Too normal.
Which is to say, Yeah, which
Okay.
is to say, he is one of the cultists,
Okay.
without a doubt.
Likely he's a cultist. All right.
They probably chose him. If he's here for a reason, it's
Right.
because he can blend in. So
And he
no
said,
sanity points, but you do that voluntarily. Remember, you can still behave like a regular person
right.
if you need to or want to.
And he said
So good bet
Mr.
he's one of them. Someone called
Mr.
Lyman.
Lyman owns these things. He said something about Mr.
Yeah.
Beach.
No, he said Mr. Beach owns the booth. Mr.
Okay.
Lyman is the church member he saw earlier today
Who's
taking
in
a
the
boat with him.
park somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Who
So
took a
Mr. Lyman might
boat.
still be in the park.
Great. All right. So I bid him adieu. He's probably a crazy cultist. Um,
Yep.
and then I will seek out Illingsworth
Okay.
to
You
relay
guys
this
were
information
close by. Yep.
and keep an eye out for a tall man with red hair, Mr. Lyman. We might be on a boat. Anybody out in the pond in a boat with red hair?
He said there were, well, yeah, he said there was people out on the pond.
Right.
There are people out on the pond. You don't see any of them in particular who seems to have red hair. Although there is one couple where the man is wearing a more close-fitting hat,
Okay.
so that could be him. Also, notice there is a boat pulled up on the shore on
Ah,
Duck Island.
Duck Island is the one with the structure.
Yeah,
Yes.
Interesting.
yeah. There's two islands, West and Duck.
Weston Duck. Okay.
West is just
Well,
grass and rock and trees.
I think I'm going
Duck
to rent.
Island has the house on it.
I think I'm going to rent a boat.
Okay,
But you could keep looking around here, or you could rent a boat and go investigate Duck Island, and I'll keep an eye out for anything unusual
that's
here.
true.
Um. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, which would you prefer, Ellington? I might
I
recognize
think
members of
I'd
the
prefer to
church.
stay around here. I
Oh,
don't
very
know
well.
how well I do on a boat.
All right, I will. Yeah, then that's my plan: is to rent a boat, and I will take a leisurely row out to Duck Island myself.
Okay, you don't really need the boating skill to operate this. It's
Okay. Oh,
self-evident
okay.
how a
It's just
rowboat
a
operates.
rowboat, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it's
Yeah,
two
yeah,
oars, nothing more,
yeah. I'm not. It's not high seas.
and it's a lake.
Well,
Yeah.
still though, I've watched people try to. I've watched Survivor, and I've watched people try to paddle a boat, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
people that don't know how to work an oar at all.
yeah. It should be pretty self-evident though. It's got two oar locks.
Right.
Yeah, incidentally, only two oar locks. In other words, this boat can only be rowed by one person at a time.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I
It's a
figured.
small boat.
It's probably could hold maybe two, maybe four people in a pinch, but that's going to be pushing things.
You
Yeah.
could, if you really pushed it, you could get one
Maybe
person on
five.
the rower's bench, two
Yeah.
or perhaps three people on the rear seat, and one or two people on the front seat.
Okay, so
So if you really loaded it
maybe
down, you could
six,
possibly get six people into
and
one
it
of
might
these.
that'd be real. That would
I
work.
suggest none of them are very large if
Yeah.
that's the case.
Okay. Well,
Because
I'm
at
beanpole,
six
so
people, you're probably pushing the boat's capacity for weight. So normally these boats carry two people,
and right now it's just
and
me.
at the moment there's nobody out there with more than two people in the boat.
Yeah. Let's go
Now,
to
while you
Duck
guys are doing
Island.
that,
Yeah. Let's see what
while you
happens
guys are
to
doing that,
Edgeworth when he
Graham,
dies.
you're going to need a library. Um, so, where do you start for this? Where do we look for Roman antiquities?
Rome.
Nearby university.
Well,
I
London
get on the
College is
boat.
a possibility, I suppose.
I'm gonna make my way over to the college. Yeah,
What's that?
right. I can make my way over to London College. Yes.
Yes. Actually, having a look at where the hell it actually, where London College actually is. 'Cause, I realize I don't actually know that. Oh, there we are. East Finchley. Where the actual hell is East Finchley? North London. There we are. So I believe it's technically Christ College London, not properly London College.
Mm.
Anyways, East Finchley, which is in the northern section of Greater London, which is to say it'll probably take you about 20 minutes to get there.
For a nice
Well,
stroll.
yep. Once you're there, they don't have the kind of facilities you really would hope for. that are accessible easily to the public. In other words, the library you will need access to, and when you enter, you will find a middle-aged man who's sitting at a desk near the entry who says, "Good morning, sir. I
Good
don't believe I know
morning.
you."
I don't believe I know you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Connor Edgeworth. I offer my hand.
"Excellent, sir. Alfred. Alfred James. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Are you
Pleasure
with
to
the
meet you,
faculty?"
Alfred. I'm not, actually.
"Then I trust you have a letter of introduction."
I do not at the moment.
"Ah, well then. I'm afraid the facilities here are for members of the university or those with proper credentials. As in, he's already guessed your
Who
purpose
would,
here."
who would I go about to acquire these credentials?
Hmm.
Show him
I
the
would
scroll.
start. I would start with Dr. Herrickson.
Mr. Erickson. Would I recognize the name?
Um, Actually, you know what? Make yourself an education roll.
Excellent. Where did my sheet disappear to?
That I cannot tell you.
That is on me. Here we go. Found you. Education. That is a failure, despite having a 70 in education. Ah,
Oh.
So,
Connor is just cursed. I don't know what it is. I fail a disproportionate number of rolls with him.
yeah,
My
don't
dice are like that at a lot of times too, man.
no,
Like,
nope, don't know this man, nor where to find him. And
Hmm.
Mr. James assumes that you already know that.
Hmm. I'm gonna.
Which means if you ask, you will be admitting you don't know that.
Hmm. True.
Just wander to an office and assume it's the right one and make a luck check.
With
Well,
my 10 in luck.
wander out of here.
You have 10 luck?
At the moment.
No wonder the dice hate you.
Nope.
You have such little luck. Yeah, of course they hate you. In any case, you probably want
Mhm.
to get out of here for the moment, as Mr. James has now gone back to what he was doing, which is reading something and taking notes.
Thank you very much for your time, and I walk to the door.
Okay? So,
Hoping there was a public section that I could bring into. Oh well.
very few
Oh.
libraries are publicly accessible. There's a few
Mhm.
around London, there are a few reading rooms where you can buy an annual subscription.
Mm.
So that way you can come whenever you want and use the reading room whenever it's open. But by and large, there are very few publicly accessible libraries or databases. This one is accessible to everyone involved in Christ College and anyone who's appropriately credentialed.
I need a letter
So
of
you're either going to
introduction.
need a secure credential, like for instance, if Dr. Blythe was back, I bet you a letter from him would get you right through the door.
Did Edward
There we go.
Edgeworth go to college or university?
I taught
No.
myself.
So no.
Yeah,
I've got
Okay,
huge
I was just
chunks
curious.
of knowledge, so no.
Okay.
yeah, but you never attended a college like this one. And it turns out in your reading, you never encountered anything Dr. Herrickson wrote, which is what the education role was about. Because you've read a lot of stuff, just not his stuff.
Now, that is a predicament.
On the other hand, he doesn't know you either, so there's that.
Maybe I'll make a good first impression.
Okay, well, um, you'll need basically to wander over to Lumley Hall which is where you will find a rector who will point you to Dr. Herrickson's residence. He
Mhm.
lives on campus.
That I will do. I will mosey on, do my best to politely
Okay?
ask for directions.
Yep. And the rector will point you to Dr. Herrickson's residence, which is a
Dr.
essentially
Erickson?
two-story house located essentially at the edge of campus. Um, it has a little garden out front. The windows are drawn, so you can't see inside. Are you knocking?
Oh, yes, I proceed to the door and I knock.
Okay. And there's a moment, and there's the sounds of movement inside. And then a man opens the door. This is a younger man. He's wearing culottes and a robe, which is open. You can see he has no shirt on,
Oh,
as if he just grabbed a robe, put something over his shoulders before opening the door.
good day, good sir.
You're
I'm looking.
He's looking rather nonplussed because apparently he was expecting somebody else who isn't you.
Ah,
A lady.
you're a gentleman. Uh, I'm looking for one Dr. Erickson.
He's in the study. Who are you, sir?
My name is Connor Edgeworth, and I had a academic inquiry that I was hoping he could help me with.
Very well, I'll ask. Please come in. And he'll show you to a sitting room and then
Absolutely.
sort of halfway stalk off through a curtain. The interior of the place you would call Orientalist.
Hmm.
In other words, a lot of hanging tapestry and silk, including a couple of what look like Chinese drapes that hover over bookshelves. Like instead of glass cases, he's just hung Chinese drapes over the shelves. And a moment later, here comes I guess you'd call him late middle aged man. His shirt sleeves are rolled up, and there's a very distinct bits of clay under his fingernails. Was he working on a sculpture?
Hmm.
Because that's kind of your first thought there is was he working making a sculpture? Yes, he says.
Fascinating. Dr. Erickson.
Precisely.
Uh,
And then he leans
my
back,
name.
Thomas, indicating apparently the younger man, who hands him a cigarette. And by hands, I mean holds it out so Dr. Erickson takes it with his mouth and then lights it. It's rolled paper around tobacco. That's weird.
Yeah, that's not a. Would any of us have heard of cigarettes before, even at this in
No.
1811? Okay.
If you're well traveled, there are stories that people in places like Turkey sometimes smoke tobacco
Oh,
wrapped in paper.
what about
It is
cigars?
not.
Are cigars
Cigars are
around
more
yet?
common.
Okay.
Yes, cigars are wrapped in leaves.
Right.
Pipes are the most common way to smoke
Right.
tobacco,
Interesting.
but the
Okay.
idea of small cigar, cigarette just means small cigar after all.
You've run into a house of terror.
That he's smoking in what your best guess is like a Turkish style, with his tobacco wrapped in paper, which the young man held for him. And he actually holds up his hands, as in he doesn't want to touch the cigarette with the clay on his fingers.
Mm.
So, what can I do for you? And then he carefully takes the cigarette after taking a drag on it, carefully takes the cigarette, backhanded, and holds it away from his mouth.
I was referred to you as I would need a letter of introduction to access the college library, and I was
So you would have
hoping.
been.
Hmm?
Well, then, Mr. Edgeworth, was it?
Yes.
Kindly explain to me, preferably in 100 words or less, why. Why should I do such a thing for a man I've never met? Please convince me. He puts the cigarette back in his mouth and waits.
Edgeworth takes a second, strokes his chin, opens his jacket, and pulls out the scroll case, wax seal. Uh, Looks at it, looks at the man. Some
Oh,
fellows
see.
of mine were stalking ancient tunnels under the city, Roman, and came across an artifact that I was not able to identify with my personal resources. So I
Hmm.
thought I would turn to the colleges.
Now, now you're speaking sense. Thomas, please. Uh, who the younger man who take, if you're willing, takes the object from you and holds it where Dr. Erickson can see it easily.
I give it.
Hmm. Well, he looks up and down both sides. It's a private seal, although this part here, pointing with a knuckle, that looks like at least part of the name Hadrian, which would probably date this to the reign of the Emperor Hadrian. This part here, possibly Licinius. Hard to be certain. The thing seems to be somewhat damaged. Where did you say you found this? As Thomas hands it back to you.
Take it back. Tunnels beneath the city. If you are willing to give me your blessing to use the library, I would be willing to go into much more detail.
Hmm. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, you have a deal. Allow me to wash my hands.
Splendid.
And yeah, he'll in fact do that, cleaning off his hands, cleaning off the clay. You will actually, if you when Thomas goes to get the wash basin, you'll actually see in the study there is a sculpture partially finished. That's actually what he's doing at the moment.
Anzaloo.
No, actually, it's a human form.
Yeah, he's sculpting Thomas. That's why he
Yeah,
had the robe on.
I suspect Thomas is his model.
Oh,
And more.
what's the quality of
Probably that
what's the
too.
quality of the sculpture?
It's hard to say because it's not finished. How much you know about art or appraisal?
I'll give it a sure.
If you have if you have art or appraisal, you're welcome to have a throw at it to get a sense of whether Dr. Herrickson is actually good at sculpting.
I have a 5% appraise.
Well,
I mean, I got close. I got a 10. I
Yeah,
had
burn
5.
that five half
No.
your luck. Do it.
Yeah.
best you can do here. It's not finished, so it's really hard to judge his skill level. I mean, the face is recognizable at this point as Thomas. So there's that. So clearly he's good enough at a sculpture to create a recognizable image of a person. And he's working, obviously, from a real life person. So he will write you a letter of recommendation on the agreement that you'll share what you find out. Which means now Mr. James will let you into the library, and now you can make a library use roll. Wait, what's your library use
Wonderful.
skill?
My library use is where 52.
Okay, so you will need to roll then. This is a great case where 75 or better would have been automatic.
I do want to walk immediately back in, and as Mr. James is going to probably look at me a little dismissively, pull out the letter
Oh, he was.
to rub it in his face a little bit.
And he says not a word. And if he was thinking aloud, which he isn't, one would suspect that you just got away with bothering Dr. Erickson while he is engaged, and Mr. James knows fucking well not to say anything about that.
Very good.
So everybody's going to keep quiet. But nobody needs to talk about Dr. Erickson's art proclivities or his private life. So, now a library
Remind me,
roll.
Remind me, is it possible to get a bonus dice in the system by spending more time?
Not
I
particularly.
think of a difference.
You can push
That's
it.
like That's pushing
you-
like your roll.
Yeah, if you fail the first roll, you could try again by
push.
spending more time. In this case, pushing will simply be spending more time.
Yeah. Normal library use rolls usually take like 4 hours. But
That
it's up to the
is
keeper.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Andy.
No, go ahead. You just.
That is a hard success.
Okay,
There you go.
so you will be able to find collections that will help you here. And long story short, it will take probably about 2 hours. The nice thing about this is many of these libraries are not that large like modern ones, so it doesn't necessarily take as long. The assumption, I think, in a 4-hour block is that you're dealing with a library that has hundreds of thousands of, libraries just aren't that big. This is even, of course, more true the farther back you go. Go to the Middle Ages, and 100 books might be a library. It won't take you long to find out if what you need is there. Here, what you've got is the seal is associated with the Macrinius family, including the guy who probably wrote that. That would be Gaius Galerius.
Wait, that's my relative. No, I'm just joking.
Gaius Galerius Macrinus. Who?
Can you spell that for me?
Not very well. Macrinus is probably Macrinus.
Thank
you
for his cognomen.
Just do what I do and spell everything phonetically.
Yeah. Now the thing is, what you can also find here is stuff about that family. So we know his cognomen was Macrinius. We know that a Gaius Gallienus Macrinius was associated with the army that Hadrian brought and was part of the Roman attempt to conquer Britain. From what you can find, he's reportedly died in, I think it's 124. Let me check the date. It's wall, damn it. I just want Hadrian.
24.
AD or BC?
AD. Yeah, that's right. 124 is correct. So your pal Macrinus apparently died in 124 while part of one of Hadrian's expeditions. So that's all the conventional history text knows about it.
And disappeared or died?
It lists him as died, but in all fairness, how would anyone know? In other words, the circumstances of his death are not revealed here. As in, he joined Hadrian's army, he was in Britain, and the last we hear of him is 124, and the assumption is he died in the year 124. Now, you guys know exactly how he died. Now you also know the year he died. There's nothing in the conventional texts. But the nice thing about libraries like this, and a hard success, is you will find another reference to him. And specifically a reference to his son, with whom he shares a name, as Romans often did. Who apparently also worked his way up through the ranks of the armed forces, and at one point served as a senator and consul. So he was accepted into the Senate, and then served as a proconsul at least twice.
Yeah, his letter said, dude, I forget the name, take care of my son. I mean, that guy never got the letter, but still.
But it turns out, apparently, whoever his friends were, they hooked his son up anyway. In other words, his son did well. So his friends may have known, realized he was dead, and did what he wanted them to do, and helped his son start what turns out to be a pretty successful career. So there's that. There's no reference to anything regarding his time in Britain, but in a history of Hadrian's campaign, there you'll find not him directly, but a reference to the year 124, where what the author describes as a skirmish near Londinium resulted in casualties, particularly to the 5th and 8th legions. And our pal Macrinius apparently was with the 5th legion. So we know he was involved in what the author of this text describes as a skirmish near Londinium against what he describes as natives. And hidden in that is a reference to the idea that these Celts were barbarians who worshipped some kind of awful thing, and they were rightly destroyed. In other words, the author you've got here is cheering for their destruction, claiming they're awful people because they worship some awful being that the writer here spells, I guess, phonetically as Thoaga.
Thoaga or Tho?
Thoaga, which is probably another corruption of Zothaqua, which is probably
Thoaqua.
another corruption of Anzilu. In other words, yet another spelling.
Has anyone ever agreed on how to spell this thing?
The answer is no, because this is not the same language. You're looking at whatever this being is, the more things you're encountering here, the more you're encountering what is probably the same being as it appears to different cultures who speak different languages.
I mean, I even look at today's standards, like look at how many last names are so like similar in spelling. I'm like, it's probably just however someone heard it and wrote it down after they came off a boat. So
yeah, probably. I mean, my grandparents' last name was Putterman, which my grandmother believed was a corruption of Butterman, which was, someone once saying, "Hey, well, what did you do in the old country?" It was a dairy farmer, Butterman. And then someone dropped a loop, and it became Butterman.
mm-hmm.
That was her theory.
Right.
Don't know if it's true. But yeah, those things happen all the damn time.
Yeah.
So different cultures, probably different words, different pronunciations, different transliterations of the same name.
Right.
So now you've got a confirmation here that what you thought you saw in the letter, in other words, that Macrinius encountered what he thinks he did, he saw it.
And he fared really well.
He's dead now. But he said something about that in the letter, and this implies, put all of that together, and the implication is whatever the hell this thing was, it was visible to him and in or around Londinium around that point. As in, he's gone down this path before you.
Mm-hmm. Came from the sky, there's nothing we do. Saw their men, there were 8 of them. 4 of the moon could not fight them, refused to work. And their
Men and
temple, I
women.
cannot name their gods.
Yeah, he described some of the Celts as women. That they were 8 people, 4 of whom he thought they were men, and then realized 4 of them were women.
Mm.
Although that also may be a Roman thing. That it was hard for him to imagine that their priests or activists or leaders would be women. And then he corrected himself when he realized they were. That may just be Roman patriarchy playing itself out. No, that we don't know. So.
Right. Well,
at
least it confirms the information that we did have.
I stuck it in gaming text and info, by the way.
Yeah. It also means that now you saw, there's the reference to the 2 missionaries from Ireland visiting. In other words, this thing has occurred periodically. You've now got 3 distinct times when it was seen. So 124 AD by some Romans. What was the other one? 6 something, 7? I forgot the exact date now. Where the church sent 2 men to investigate. They said people saw something in the sky.
Yep.
And an abbot sent 2 men to look into it. So that, if you stick around here for a bit, you can also get your hands on this library's copy of the Iona Annals, which is a monastery's annual. In other words, it's a year-by-year account where each year the monks would make a note of things that happened this year. How's your Latin, by the way?
I can read Latin.
But because you'll find another account of it there. In the year 1231, a thing that they describe as like a dragon, the Latin word is draconis, was seen in the sky. And according to the Iona Chronicle, this thing was seen on several days by what the writer describes as large numbers of people. There's no further commentary.
672 was the year.
Okay. So 672 and then again 1231. In other words, this thing has been seen before. And in this case, the annal tells you nothing further. And the entry is right between some local lord who died and a crop blight. Like, this is not a text. This is simply the monks listing everything interesting that happened this year with no sense of order or connection. They just, if it happened, we wrote it down. So, a crop blight happened. People saw a dragon in the sky. Well, local lord dropped dead. Now, while you're pondering that, then we'll take us back to the park, where Dr. Payne has rented a boat, I believe.
Yes.
Just you.
Yes.
And you row yourself out to Duck Island.
Sure, why not?
Okay. You can park your boat next to the other one.
Yeah, I just get it pulled up on the shore.
Okay. And as you do, you will see 2 people coming around the side of the house.
Okay.
One of them is a tall man with red hair. He's got a proper hat on. He's well dressed. The woman with him you do not recognize.
Oh boy.
Although you're good enough at psychology to notice her body language. She moves uncomfortably. And best guess initially suggests she's doing that because she's not used to the kind of clothing she's wearing.
What kind of clothing is she wearing?
She's dressed appropriately for someone of a more upper status.
Ah.
So this kind of the layers, for instance, she's being careful with her head, as if her upswept hairdo, she's afraid it's going to fall down.
Right. Okay.
So that's the feel you get. And unless you stop them, they're going to head for their boat.
No, I won't.
And get into it.
Mr. Lyman.
And he turns.
I just call out.
Well, do I know you?
Oh, I'll move closer.
Well, turns out that's who it is.
To be a little more intimate, so we're not like calling to each other still.
Yep.
And
he was coming your way anyway.
Oh, good.
He was heading towards his boat.
Oh, that's right. Our boats are right next to each other, so I'll just wait for him to come over.
Your boat up by the dock, yeah.
Oh, there's a dock. Ooh, fancy. I thought they were just up on the shore.
No, there's a proper dock here.
Yes, I recognize
after all, the dock keeper technically lives here.
Yeah, I recognize.
Someone goes across the lake every day.
I recognize you from the church.
Oh,
I'm Dr.
yes.
Payne. You've probably not heard of me.
I believe I saw your face.
Yes, same.
And do you know Miss Simmons?
I do not.
Nice
I
to
uh,
meet you.
I bow, nod, whatever's appropriate for not touching women.
Likewise.
Miss Simmons,
Yep.
and I don't recognize her at all.
Actually, an intelligence roll will tell you whether you've seen her face before.
Okay. Boop. Ooh. Oh, 18 out of 55. I do recognize her.
You have seen her face before.
At service or in the...
seen her in the church, except the last time you saw her hair was down.
Right.
She wasn't wearing earrings. In other words, she looks considerably different given the way she's dressed versus the last time you saw her.
Okay.
So it'll take you a long moment to recognize, yes, that's the same person. You do know her face.
So she was at services too?
She was.
Great. More crazy people. Have you found anything interesting?
I assumed that you were here for much the same as Mr.
I just nod.
Well, go see for yourself. You'll enjoy it.
I point towards the corner of the building that they came from.
He nods. And then helps Miss Simmons into the boat.
Okay.
And then gets in himself and
I
begins
bid them good day,
it.
and I will turn and head that direction as they're, settling themselves and rowing away.
Yep. So, around the side of the house.
We're all here. We're all friends. We're all crazy cultists.
Can I keep an eye on the island from
Oh, thank God.
somewhere else around?
Oh yeah, easy to do.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on what's going on over there.
Yeah, although it's a bit of a distance, which means you can see where Dr. Payne is. You see him talk to two people.
Some figures.
From this distance, you can't see their faces.
That's fine. I don't have to make out detail. I just want to make sure I can see Dr. Payne and see whether he's okay or not.
And by the way, you can see the two people when they come back to this side, because they're rowing back toward the boat dock.
Oh.
So if you want to look at them, you can position yourself there because you know where they're going.
I don't want to make myself obvious towards them at all in any way.
Just stand around like this. Be like,
Well,
yeah, that's not obvious at all, is it? No, I'm not going to pay them. I'm not going to pay them any mind.
You could buy a snack, I suppose, and find a nice place to sit and eat it.
Oh yeah,
I could. Yeah.
Shove that food in your mouth. Cover your own face up. What's around the side of the house? How many bodies?
Well, now the thing is, you're about to lose track of Dr. Payne because he's about to go out of your line of sight.
Well, see, no, that's why I don't want to stop and get a snack. I want to keep an eye on him if I can. So whether I'm walking around the pond or what.
He's about to go out of your line of sight because he's about to go around. He looks like he's heading for the side of the house and is going to enter the wooded area.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that where you pointed to?
Yeah.
Past the house? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's where I'm going.
I still want to stay within earshot.
You'll hear me scream.
I may not know how to swim. I may not know how to swim very well, but I will if I have to.
Yeah, I don't have any points in swim either.
So, you go around the side of the house.
1 out of 5 chance.
And you'll find yourself essentially on, I guess you'd have to call this a hiking trail.
Okay.
Except the trees here, they're less familiar than how much you know about natural world?
Nothing. 10%. I got base.
So
I don't have any
shot at it.
I have natural philosophy though, which is like the science of the time.
Yeah, 21. That won't help as much here.
Okay.
This is really about what are these trees?
So I can make a roll on natural world?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not very good. Oh, 5. Holy crap. I made it.
Because the thing about St. James Park is it features a number of trees from across the British Empire. These
it's a hard success.
Are nowhere you've ever seen before. And as you move deeper along the path, you'll start to notice the trees themselves have a kind of bluish red tinge.
Okay.
As now the bushes start to give way to webbing.
Webbing?
As if some kind of large spider was weaving a web across some of the lower bushes. I haven't seen any spiders. But you don't want to leave. If you leave the trail, you're going to have to push through spider webs.
No, I'll stick to the trail for the moment. I'll look for places where the webbing might be broken, as if these two people went off the trail. But otherwise, I'm going to probably...
Oh, seems they followed the trail.
Okay, I will follow the trail for now.
And
What the fuck?
By the time it reaches its end,
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing more of the webbing, although you're still not seeing any creature that left it there. So if
Mm.
there's a spider here, you're not seeing it.
Oh, good. I
But
appreciate.
it's got that
Yeah.
haunted house kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And where it ends is what appears to be a stone. I guess you'd have to call that a well.
A well. A stone well.
It's no more than about 4 feet high,
Why
and
am I always
maybe
the one that finds this shit? Okay.
12 to 14 feet across,
I
surrounded
think
by
we
those
just call it a
weird
well,
trees and
regardless.
bushes.
4 feet high, trees and bushes. Are
There's
there? Is there
webbing
webbing? Okay, yeah.
over the well itself. Yeah,
Like over the
like
top.
whatever. Yeah, you have to move the
Mm.
webbing to see the water. And even in the afternoon, the sunlight in here has a more bluish green tinge to it than gold, as if you're looking at the whole world through a kaleidoscope.
Okay. What's it sound like? Do I hear animals? Are there birds? Do I hear any noises at all? Or is it like dead
Uh,
silent?
a, a listen roll would help there,
Oh, damn it. Okay.
because there's things to hear. It's not dead silence, but a listen roll would help sort out what you're actually hearing.
11. It was cocked and it went to 11. Holy crap, I made two in a row.
Well, you've lost track of the noises of the birds, the ducks, the pelicans,
Mm-hmm.
and instead there's a kind of faint hum, which is echoing between the trees and actually accentuated by each of your footfalls.
I've stopped at this point. If I was listening, I probably was at a dead stop.
Yeah, I meant because that's part of that is a realization by absence.
Okay, gotcha.
Like one thing you realize you're not hearing something, and then you move, and there it is, and then it clicks. That's the sound of your own movement,
Okay.
as if your
Any
footfalls are
idea?
echoing on grass or dirt, which they should not.
No. Any idea where the humming is coming from, or is it just everywhere?
It seems to be coming from everywhere. It is definitely reflecting in and around the webbing, as if those things are serving as audio baffles.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm pretty sure this is not supposed to be here.
No, 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 no. And there's supposed to be a caretaker on this island, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
there is.
okay. Um. Oh no, my character is brave. I will
That's
go.
the house is where the caretaker lives.
I'll go to the well.
Okay,
Carefully, very, very, as quietly as I can, and slowly. I'll take my time. Uh,
okay.
can I see anything through the webbing down in the
You'd have
well?
to you'd have to move some of the webbing.
I don't want to touch it. I don't even know what this shit is. Shit, I should get a sample.
Yeah.
Um, do I have
You could.
anything on my person that I could
Uh,
use to like pick up is there a
a,
stick and I could pick it up and maybe try to get a little of the
well,
webbing and put it in a bottle or something that I carry that I've
well,
got?
a stick is easy to find. A luck
Right.
roll to determine whether
Okay.
you have a bottle that's useful.
Okay.
Because you can always pick up a stick, but then if you
Yeah.
want a sample, you might have to just put it in your pocket.
20. That's a success. I got
So yeah,
I have a
you'll find an empty bottle in
some
your pocket.
bottle in my pocket. Yeah. Can I try to get some? I'm not going to take the webbing from the well. That seems
Mhm.
really stupid.
You can get it from anywhere.
Yeah, I'll try to get
Basically,
some
pick
from
up a
off the
stick,
ground or
secure a bit
something.
of it, put it in the
Yeah.
bottle,
Put it in the bottle.
cap the bottle.
Put the cork back on for now
Yep.
and pocket it and then leave and go to the
Okay.
I want to go to the caretaker's cottage and give a little
Okay.
knock.
No one answers.
Is it locked?
No.
Um I kind of glance back towards the park proper.
And there's
Um
Mr. Illingsworth
oh,
on the other side of the lake.
is there
Oh, by the way, he
how
just came back into view. He
far
came back around the house.
how far away is the side of the lake from here? I mean, are there any people who, if I slip into this house, it's going to be super obvious, or is there enough distance that most likely people won't notice or care?
If you wait for the right moment, you can enter without being seen.
Yeah, I'll do
In other
that.
words, there's some people boating on the lake. Basically, wait until, okay, there's a guy going by. He's pulling an oar now. Good move.
That's what I'll do.
In other words, no one is paying attention.
Okay,
Just wait till you're not in direct line of sight
right.
of another boater,
I'm gonna
which means just wait a minute
and then I'll
and
slip
then
into
move.
the house. So you see me knock, wait,
And then
and
and
then
then look
eventually
around.
Yeah, look around. Yeah, look around. Kind of
Yeah.
looking around. Kind of trying to look nonchalant, very poorly, most likely, and then
and
at
then
one
steps
point
inside.
slip into the house and close the door behind me.
Yep.
The house were the windows shuttered or anything?
The shutters are pulled,
Which is they're open.
at least on the front side.
They're
So
open.
they're pulled closed.
They're
They're pulled
closed.
closed
Okay.
on the front side.
Is the house full of webbing?
No.
Oh God, thank God.
Um, the house
I'm gonna let my eyes
looks
adjust before I move.
yeah, clearly lived in. It's a essentially a lower class style dwelling. So where you've entered is a multi-function room.
Yeah. Okay.
That over there a stove, over here a table, a bench, a chair,
A body.
a little shelf of books. There's no one here.
Okay. Hello.
There's another room contains the water closet.
Yeah, I'm gonna peek. I'm gonna search the place. Oh well, I'm gonna look around the place.
Yeah, the third room. This one opens more on the back. In other words, there's a back door here.
Okay.
Here, equipment for maintaining the birds. So here are cages, sacks of feed, and whatnot. And here is a person. He's sitting on the ground with a bird cage. He appears to be engaged in an intense conversation with a duck.
Oh.
He looks up when you do that.
Do I recognize him? Is he from the church?
No, you don't recognize
Thank
this man.
God.
He's wearing He's wearing coveralls. I think it's the groundskeeper.
Are the shutters open here, or is he just here in the dark working?
The shutters are closed. He's sitting here in the dark.
Well, it bodes ill.
And as you enter, he says, "Excuse me, Percy. We have company."
Yay! What crazy people.
I guess Percy is the duck.
Yes.
And he stands up, executes a perfectly flourished bow, and says,
Percy?
"Welcome, my lord." No, to you.
Oh, to
And
me?
says, "Welcome, my lord, to the Principality of Azazil."
Oh, thank you. Oh my God.
Okay. Out the bend.
Yes, I'm Dr. Payne. I'm with the church.
Are you now?
Well, I have
Good
been.
for you. Good for you.
What, and your name, sir?
Grissom.
Grissom? Okay.
It's Grissom.
And Percy. And I'll gesture towards this. Is it a duck in a cage?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a carrier, like the kind you might use to transport an animal.
So just square, not fancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Sir Percival.
Percival, I apologize. I apologize to the duck.
Well, the duck, by the way, looks like a duck.
Yeah, that's okay.
Clearly not thrilled being in the carrier, and probably not thrilled with this conversation.
Poor duck.
Being, a duck. And having nothing else to do with this. Poor duck. Sir Percival and I were just discussing the merits of pelicans.
Oh, fascinating.
Where you see, we had an incident, and he leans forward, the word incident right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you.
I'm on my
Tell
guard
me, doctor,
here, by the way.
What is to be done about this?
Okay.
And he begins now moving through the animal carriers.
Okay, in the dark, in the dim light.
In the dark. Yeah. Until he finds the one he's clearly looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Extracts it. And
I get to make another sanity check.
You've dealt with dead bodies before. So this isn't going to cost you a sanity check directly. Because what he's got is a dead pelican.
Oh dear. Does it have any wounds? Does it have any deformities?
A medicine roll would help you there.
Okay. I will look at it in the dim light as best I can. 37 out of 71. So that's a hard success.
Now you can make a sanity roll.
Is it a hard success? It's not a hard success.
Regular
success.
Regular
Regular success. Yeah.
Well, you can still make yourself a sanity roll.
Yeah, baby, boy, oh boy. Where is my sanity? Oh, it's not in a good place.
It's clear what killed this pelican.
43 out of 50 is a success, just.
Okay, you're all right then.
Nothing? Okay.
Clear what killed the pelican.
What?
Blunt force trauma
Okay.
to the head.
I'm keeping an eye. I have not taken my eyes off of what's his face if I can help it. I don't want to get my ass killed.
And by the way, the reason for the sanity roll was the blunt force trauma is not itself problematic. And it looks like someone hit the pelican with a hammer.
Oh,
the problem is the damage to the wings that suggests it landed on its side, and one wing is very badly broken. The implication is it suffered blunt force trauma in midair.
Oh boy.
So what did the pelican run into
Yes.
that caved its skull in? What is up there that's strong enough to smash a pelican?
Yep.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep. That.
Why, this pelican's dead.
Yes, it is, says Mr. Grissom. There it is, the incident. And again, emphasis on that word as he leads in, practically spits it in your face.
Where did you find
and
it?
what do you suppose did that?
Well, the way the wings are broken, something in the air struck it as it was flying.
Well, here's the rule then. Perhaps in the kingdom of Azazil, one should not fly.
Perhaps, yeah.
So, if I keep everyone safe here...
Are all these cages full of fucking birds? I'm looking around now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Every single cage is full of birds.
Did you realize you haven't seen the ducks or pelicans on the pond? Oh, he's protecting them all.
He's protecting them.
Oh, yeah. He's protecting them from the flying thing overhead. Yep. That's a thing now.
How wonderful of you to protect him.
Yeah, Mr. Grissom. I suspect Mr. Grissom is down more than a few sanity points.
He's probably seen the things that actually caused this mess, so...
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
He's probably also seen whatever's creating those webs.
And how do you know that...
This would explain why the windows are closed.
Oh, dear. Okay, can I tell? And then Baker bursts into the room. Pum pum pum.
Probably not where you are, but that's where he is in a moment.
So, okay, is Grissom crazy?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, damn it. Then he's a cultist now, basically.
No, he's just fucking crazy.
Okay.
He's not a cultist. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now he's doing everything he can to protect the birds he's been charged with, so that they shouldn't fly into dangerous invisible things and be smashed.
Yes.
He's doing this by keeping them in cages.
Mr. Grissom.
Nobody said this was logical. On the other hand, the birds are not smashing into things, so there's that.
How can I help you with this, Mr. Grissom? Do you need anything? Have you been eating?
Yes.
I'm looking around for empty cages.
I can't eat anything else here. You see, sir, I had chicken for my supper, and Percival was disagreeable with it. Perhaps a beefsteak would be nice.
I could bring you.
Yes, sir, a beefsteak would be lovely.
Would you like me to bring you some?
Very much so, sir.
I will do so immediately. You are doing a wonderful job here protecting the birds.
Thank you.
Could you use some help protecting? Would you like some people to help you protect the birds?
I've got that well managed.
Very good.
And it were any other people I think might be unwelcome. I don't know how one travels to and from Azazil, but if it does, then they might be unwelcome.
Ah, yes,
unless they do not fly, in which case they perhaps are. I'll admit I don't know. I really don't know. I would certainly not recommend entrance by flying.
I will take that into advisement, Mr. Grissom.
But you don't have wings, right?
I do not have wings. No, sir.
then you should be relatively safe.
Thank you. I will bring you beefsteak
Thank you.
and perhaps some beer to go with it.
Would be lovely. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
You
I
see,
will
Sir
bring you some.
Percival? He's not a bad gentleman. No, he's not with them at all.
Well, they
But
think
he
I
said
am.
this. I know he said that. I know he said that.
Shh, shh. I'm a spy. They think I'm with them.
No,
Do not tell them.
of course.
They would.
You heard
They
the
would.
man.
They would. They would probably kill me immediately.
Oh, in that case,
Can I count
we
on
will
you,
be certain to keep your silence.
Mr. Grissom?
You
Can
heard
I
that,
count on you?
correct?
Can I
Yes, of
count on you,
course.
Mr. Grissom? Yes.
As His Majesty counts on me to keep the pelicans safe,
Yes. It is.
and I have
Yes.
done so at the most greatest inconvenience to myself.
I'm. I will bring. Is there anything else you need, Mr. Grissom? I know he's
Not that I
crazy, but
can,
maybe he's not completely gone yet.
not that I can think of at the moment.
Very well. Help is on the way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna get the hell out of there
Yeah,
and close the door
yeah.
behind me, and
Okay.
then I'm going to my boat and I'm rowing back to shore.
Yep. So, I think we've
I,
seen the
I
onset of Azazil.
We know where it is. Oh God.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Say now we know where. We still don't know
Oh,
when.
I got to get a beefsteak for this guy
Yep.
and some beer, and
I
maybe
I
inform some authorities that he's gone insane and there's giant webs all over the island.
I see that Dr. Payne is probably rowing a little harder than normal. It's not just a leisurely
Oh
row
yeah,
back
yeah.
to.
No, he's
Only
he's
a
on his way
little.
back like he's like he's on his way back like a man on a mission.
No, I'm. Yeah, well, I got to get beefsteak.
Yeah,
Oh,
you are on a mission.
Kevin,
You promised him a beefsteak and beer.
I'm gonna definitely take him food first. That's the first thing. He probably hasn't eaten anything. He's probably ate that chicken
yeah,
raw.
Well, you did
like
see the stove.
Renfield.
I think you would know that if he had.
Yeah, no, you saw the stove. No, the reason he's not eating any more chickens is because he's afraid the ducks and pelicans will be
Yeah,
offended.
they'll be offended. I'm gonna
Right.
bring him some. Okay, so
Apparently, if he eats a cow, they won't be offended
I
because
guess.
they're not. It's not a bird. I guess
um,
nobody said he was making any sense.
I'm gonna.
Right.
I don't know if you want to jump to
Yeah.
Edgeworth and come back
Oh,
to me and
I see.
Illingsworth.
Josh, are you back?
Hello. Sorry.
Hey, there we are.
Welcome
So,
back. Things are going
as for,
crazy.
as,
Hey,
as for Mr. Baker, then, you will be returning to London at this point, along with Dr. Blythe, having done this primarily by waiting for a group of others. In other words, basically joining a travel party worth waiting for, because you are much less likely to be murdered if there are a dozen witnesses around. So,
Okay.
you will find your way back to London on Monday. As for Dr. Blythe, he is bringing with him, he will return the books that the Bodleian owns, but he's bringing with him additional notes and the tablet itself. He's no longer willing to leave it there for fear that if Graves knows it's there, they'll steal it again. So he's now carrying it. Which
you're going to
means,
have to catch Baker up on some stuff.
yeah, which means if you like, you guys can get together Monday evening. Because I did, as you recall, you asked Dr. Blythe to inform you when he was back in town. And he'll happily do so once he's returned. So you'll know about their return by Monday later in the day. Oh, wait, though, did you actually buy steak and beer and take it back to Duck Island?
Yes, a lot of it.
Okay.
Like a
And
fucking keg of beer and a lot of food. I'm gonna tell Illingsworth to keep an eye on me as I take it to the caretaker, and then take it into his house. Is he still
okay,
in
you'll
there?
find
He
him.
still seems
Oh, yeah.
okay. So I mean, he's crazy.
Oh,
He's
you'll find
crazy or something.
I will ask. I will ask if you do. You want me to come with you?
No, I want
No?
someone
Okay.
to be safe in case they decide that what I'm doing is worth killing me for. Someone needs to tell. I'm going to describe all this shit to Illingsworth there in the park very quietly as we're walking around trying to heading for a merchant to buy to buy a small keg of beer, like a 5 or 10 gallon keg of beer, and a food,
Butcher.
chips, just a lot of food that I'm going to be piling into Illingsworth's arms as we go. And
Yeah,
then
and let's face it, the boat rental guy is going to give you quite the look.
I don't give a shit. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
I
Right. Same.
Fair enough.
I rent another boat from him, and I tip him heavily.
Yeah, he will take your money. He will
Uh-huh.
give you a weird look, but he will take your
I
money.
never gave him my name, so I don't care. Um,
Exactly.
and but I want Illingsworth to keep an eye to make sure that some more of these cultists don't show up, see that I'm being nice to this guy, and decide to kill me. But as we were doing the shopping, I described everything I saw to Illingsworth, all this weird webbing, this well, that I got a sample of the webbing. Actually, is it still in the bottle? I look in the bottle.
It appears to be, yeah.
Okay, I'll show it to him as we go about, and then I'm going to ask him if he thinks we should alert the authorities. This man has gone insane, and there's
What?
weird webbing all over the island, in that copse of woods over there.
Well, what would we tell the authorities, that the groundskeeper is bad at his job?
That he's gone mad, perhaps.
Oh, he's clearly mad. By the way, when you come back to deliver the food, he
Yeah.
is holding a round table discussion.
Got
with
several
3 ducks
cages in a
and
circle.
3 pelicans.
Oh, that's
Yes.
fine. Yes, okay.
He's arranged them in a circle and is holding a round table
Yes,
discussion
Mr.
where
Grissom.
apparently he is
Returned.
apparently chairing some debate between the ducks and the pelicans.
Ah, that's fine. I bring him some beer, chips. I don't know, the chips by 1811. Maybe some.
Well, roasted potatoes in any case.
So yeah, maybe some jellied eels and some of the beefsteak that he wanted. Everything's probably already cooked. You know what I mean? Like I probably got these from vendors.
Yeah,
Or
and the
something.
jelly deals will keep well too.
So he'll have food for a few days at least. I'm gonna one thing I would like to find out from him before we end this part is if he has any arms in his house.
Oh, he does not.
Okay. But it looks like he's taking really good care of all the animals, right?
Yep. I mean, insofar as he's feeding them.
Yeah, he's
He won't
feeding
let
them,
them
he's
out of the
watering
cages.
them.
But he won't let them out of the cages.
That's fine.
He's afraid they're going to fly if he lets them out.
And then
if they fly,
they're
they're
gonna
going
die.
to exactly. So he believes he's saving their lives by keeping them locked in.
Then I'm going to warn him to lock his doors. Something terrible is going to happen here soon.
Oh, he's aware of that. It already did.
Well,
That's excellent.
I tell him his front door is unlocked.
Yeah, he's aware of that too. And reminds you that no lock separates Azazil from you.
Oh.
He's already living in that place. What good to lock the door when you're already in there? It is, as he describes it, like locking the door after a thief has come and gone.
All right. Damn it, I can't help this guy, can I?
Well, and
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
those
Oh.
things.
I'd
went
like
through
to
a
try
glass
something,
window.
Mr. Grissom, that might help you. Do you mind?
Sure. What do you have
Get
in
out my
mind?
pocket watch.
Oh. Okay.
I want to make him
hypnosis
forget. I want to make him
Yeah.
forget whatever the hell it was he saw
roll. Make a hypnosis
that
roll. Why not?
lost his sanity. Let's see if I can make this.
Let
51
me get a few points
mesmerism. 15. 15 is a
that's-
hard success.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put him under a trance and try to see if I can make him forget the
That
last.
box.
Yeah, he's not going to forget. But what
Weak.
you can do is get him more rational.
Oh man. Okay.
And with that, he'll understand that he's been behaving in a way that seems insane.
Okay.
And that he will tell you in a calm voice that this place has become a place. This is no longer Duck Island. This is Azazil. He doesn't know how he knows that, but he knows that. It's true. And he doesn't know why it happened or how it happened. And he knows that there is no leaving this place by air.
Right. Okay. Can
That's
he
the
leave
thing.
this place?
He can, but if he does, then the birds that he's caring for will die.
Why
there's
don't
no one
we
there to
take them with us?
He's not sure how that would be done. There's too many of them.
How many are there?
He's got a flock of geese and a flock of pelican.
Okay.
They're supposed to be out on the duck pond. There's
Right.
a literal
Right.
flock
No,
of geese.
right. No.
Well, would the ducks be in cages? Would they have the ducks, or even any of the birds for that matter? Would they have their wings clipped? I mean, if they're keeping
no,
them.
they're not going to have their wings clipped.
No, they don't.
They
do that.
live there. There's just that they're native to the pond.
Yeah, you don't
Right.
need to keep them there by force. They live there by choice.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Except he's afraid they'll fly because that's what birds do.
Okay.
And he's afraid
Right.
that what you're getting on him basically is that this thing is everywhere above you.
Right.
And
I'm
he's
just pretty sure
convinced-
they clipped the crow's wings at London Tower because.
I don't know. It
There's-
doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right.
He's convinced that this thing is above you now, and that Azazil, this place will remain until the thing goes away. He doesn't know why it came, and he doesn't know how long it tends to stay.
Okay. And he can't leave. He can't leave because the birds will die.
He's afraid. He's willing to take that chance because this is his job, and he cares for these creatures.
Is he rational enough that he can defend himself right now?
At the moment, yes.
And I'm going to find out if any of the church people have come to him.
He hasn't seen them. He's seen people going and coming. He's seen them passing by,
But
they haven't
nobody's
spoken.
come inside. Okay.
Yeah, no. Like for instance, he under hypnosis, he remembers the two people earlier today who came by.
Right.
But
Did
he
Father
doesn't- they
Brown
didn't-
come
they
by?
didn't-
I described Brown. I described Graves. Has he noticed? He might not have even paid any attention.
He has not. He hasn't noticed them. That doesn't mean they weren't here.
Right. All the
He's been
shutters have been.
back here. Yeah.
All the
So
shutters
it's
are closed.
possible that other people walked by, and he didn't see them. The
did
reason
he
he's closed
see-
the shutters is because he sometimes sees the thing in the air.
He
and
did
wants
see
to
it.
keep- Yeah, and he wants to keep everything else out, so
Can
he's pulled the shutters closed.
Can he describe it to me? Or is
He
that
can't.
going to push him straight back where he was?
He literally can't. He doesn't understand how to describe it.
Did that leave the webs?
He's not sure.
Okay. Does he know anything about the well?
What he knows is the well was originally constructed in the 1650s, which is basically when this park was laid out.
Okay.
The 1660s, during the reign of Charles II. From what he's been told, it was actually planned earlier, but a civil war kind of got in the way,
Is it just a well?
as far as he knows.
Okay. All right. Well, I've brought him food and drink enough to last him
Yeah.
for at least a few days.
Yeah, there was a civil war, at one point.
Yeah.
About 6 days.
Can I leave him in a state where he is mentally more sound through the mesmerism or not?
Yeah, he's gained back a few sanity points for this.
Okay.
In other words, similar to the way you would use psychoanalysis to
Okay.
help someone gain back a few sanity points.
I'm going to assure him we're going to try
Oh.
to stop this thing so the birds can go free again.
Yeah, so he's not in a good place, but
No.
he's being rational for the moment, and now he's making sense of his irrational behavior.
Okay.
But he's defending the birds because that's his job.
Okay.
And now he's actually understanding the way he's chosen to do this is kind of crazy, but he doesn't have a better solution.
Unless he can move all the birds somewhere and put them
Unless he
in
can
a
move them
menagerie
all,
of some
and he-
kind.
Yeah, and he doesn't know how to do that and where they would go. Even if he could move them all, where would he take them to?
When did the zoo start in London? Okay.
That's an excellent question.
I was going to ask if I could have a luck roll to see if I had
A menagerie?
aviary.
An
Or, yeah,
aviary? Okay, that's it. Sorry, I've been eating up a bunch of time here. This feels kind of important. And then I flee from that terrible, terrible place.
Okay.
and we need Baker and Blythe, so.
Yeah, let's go find Baker and Blythe sometime that afternoon or that evening.
Well, you'll probably find them if that's acceptable to everybody that evening.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, Blythe said he would write as soon as he returns. So you'll get a note as soon as they're in London which means you can get together, say, that evening for supper.
Yeah, we can meet at my
Do you
house if you
prefer?
want. Yeah, we can meet at my
I was gonna
house.
say, I was gonna
Uh,
say, do you prefer your house or the club or?
no, not well. No, no. We'll just meet at my house. How about that? Because nobody's home except
Okay.
me and Toby right now.
Right.
Um.
By the way, the London Zoo opened 1828,
Ah,
so
damn.
not quite yet.
But there were menageries before that, so there might
Oh yeah,
be like
private.
like a place where there's a lot of birds, but the birds aren't really that important, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
I
Well,
just feel
they're
bad
important
for
to Mr.
them.
Grissom.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to help him, poor guy.
Yeah.
I relate all this horrible crap, and I said, "That's Azazil. That's the spot. We need a time." Mr. Grissom is Mr. Grissom is going mad. Um, I think I've kept him from
I
going.
think you already got there, but yeah.
Yes, well, he might be
Has gone.
salvageable. Uh,
I might have pulled him back just a bit,
just a bit, but
but
and he's protecting
Yeah,
the
no,
birds as
he's
best he can. I don't know what the here's the bottle, little jar or whatever that I had for the with the stick in it with the webbing on it. Has it done anything to the stick? It doesn't. There's no caustic
oh,
anything about it.
oh,
I take something else
Are we
and touch it
are
to
we
it and see
back
if it's
in?
sticky. Yeah, we're back. It's dinner. We've met for dinner and
yeah,
probably haven't eaten. Dr. Payne is drinking heavily.
yeah.
Um, we ran all around London looking for you guys, probably for a couple hours before I went home and found this note. Oh, flight's back, and then
Yeah.
wrote quickly to everybody. He's like,
Birds,
"Come to dinner now." Oh,
birds. Uh, welcome back, Baker,
Thank you.
as well.
hmm Yep. Good to
yes,
be
yes.
back.
Welcome
Yeah.
back, Baker.
We
So,
have quite a lot to fill you in on, actually.
mhm.
Well, the important part is that's Azazil. There's a fellow. There's a fellow named Jimmy Ludd. Jimmy, who is
yeah, yeah.
he's
Bill,
possessed
who's
by Azazil
Billy?
now.
Oh, Billy Ludd.
Billy,
Billy
that's
Ludd.
it, Billy Ludd.
Yeah.
He's possessed by Azazil and can do anything he wants. He's a god, he says. He's quite mad.
Toby, Toby
Uh,
says.
I don't know if he can do those things or not. He tried to get me to shoot him to prove he couldn't be harmed.
So is Azazel both the person and the place?
Yes, it is. Uh,
He referred to himself as Azazel as if he were a person. Grissom thinks Azazel is a place.
we also found a dead Roman, yes, under the church. And,
Did some spelunking.
uh,
And now we know who he was.
is Blythe here? Did he come to this
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah,
Dr.
he and
Blythe,
Baker came together.
do you know how to stop them casting this call down Azazel spell?
I, from his perspective, I don't believe they have.
No, do you?
If no, don't believe they have done such a thing. From what I've understood of the tablet,
Yes.
if Mr. Brown had already, to use a polite term, cast Visitation of Anzilu, we would already be dead.
Yeah.
Ergo, he has not.
No, no, no. Do you know how to cast it? Can you countercast it if he does cast it? Can you send this thing away?
I would never attempt such a thing, even if I could, and I don't believe I can.
Even if we've stopped
The,
Brown from calling it, what about this Billy Ludd, who might be possessed by one of those Shantaks?
mm, that's a different issue. The tablet's invocation is, what's the word I'm looking for? Metaphorical.
What if it's not?
I could be wrong.
What if it's real? Well, a sane man would think as you think. What would an insane man think?
And it's been a long time since anyone called me that. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. He seems sane to me, right? I mean, he's a little
Oh, yeah.
weird, but he's not crazy, right? Okay.
Yeah. Is what happens when you delve into this stuff carefully.
Yeah.
Insanity points, but still functional.
Plus, didn't you say that he was probably ADHD or
Oh, yeah.
something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
appears If he appears a lot crazier, it's because he's what we would call neurodivergent.
Right, that's it. Neurodivergent, I think, is what you said before.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't do it because, all right.
because I have no one I particularly desire to destroy. And I would be willing to bet that attempting to do the thing would destroy me faster than anyone I might hate. And in all fairness, I don't really hate anybody. At least not enough to do that to them.
Well, no, and I understand, but Reverend Brown is going to try to do this soon, and my fear is that Billy is Billy right?
Yeah,
Jimmy,
Billy.
Billy. Okay, Billy Ludd is going to be able to tell him how.
I don't think that he's going to.
What do you think might happen?
I don't know, but I do not think that visitation of Anzilo is his intention.
Oh,
I don't know who he would destroy with this.
the world.
Although I do think, and here is the part that terrifies me most, that if he was interested in doing such a thing, he has the capacity.
Hmm.
To do such a thing would destroy any one man. But, and here is, I speak from my own experience only. What if one could team up with 1,000 others, drawing a little from each one?
He has a whole church full of people.
And that being my point, if each man gives a penny, how many pounds would we have if every man in London gave me a penny right now?
How many people live in London, Kevin? What's a ballpark at this time period?
Probably about 1 million.
1 million, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the point he's making is if everyone
Yeah,
contributes
yeah,
a very small amount and there's a large number of people, you end up with a large amount. So he could, I believe, do it, but I don't see him doing so. Who is it that he would seek to destroy?
George the
Who would,
Third,
who does he?
the aristocracy, the regency, the rich.
Ah, so if he had that capacity, he could turn it on those people.
The government itself, Parliament.
Therein, okay. Now it makes more sense to me. I hadn't given it a political thought.
Yes, he does not care for the rich, and the highest will be brought low, and the lowest will be brought high.
Right.
Is how.
So the visitation of Anzilo might be a thing he might consider doing.
Mm, you say he probably hasn't learned how, but what if this? What if Billy Ludd, who's probably possessed by a Shantak, can tell him
Mm,
how?
Well, I couldn't speak to that one way or the other. All I'm certain of is what the tablet contains.
Right, right. I
And in
understand.
effect, I hesitate to finish the translation because I would not willingly put such a weapon in the hands of any man.
But you said yourself though, this Shantak could teach, you know,
Maybe
That's
right. So,
certainly within the realm of the possible.
if they
if someone told us
yes.
that.
And you did say that Reverend Brown conversed with it.
Oh yes, he can talk to it in its own language. It appears.
Do you
Maybe.
remember anything he said?
Do I? Cthulhu Vertagen.
Well, there's the one word, remember, that he ends
Oh
every
yeah, yeah,
sentence with.
definitely would know that one. I would tell him that word. The other words were lost in the noise of the church, for the most part.
Yeah,
He ends every sermon with it.
yeah.
Every meeting.
At a guess, just from that. Uh, and keep in mind, please, I'm just guessing from one word, but perhaps Hyperborean?
Hyper.
I'm guessing, my guess would be Hyperborean.
What what is Hyperborean?
It's from the Greek, meaning beyond the north.
Is it a language?
Yes,
Oh. I've never heard
it's
the
the
word.
Greek name for a language that no longer exists and hasn't since, well, since before we did.
So 4,000 years. Over 4,000 years ago. Well, how long? According to the
Or
Bible,
more.
how long has mankind been around? Like 4 or 5 thousand
Six
years.
thousand years, I
Six
think.
thousand years. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
so
there's no sciences
certainly,
at this time period that say we've been around for longer. Is that right?
some people think so.
Oh, okay.
And while Darwin has yet to publish,
Right.
this is the age of Darwin's grandfather, Erasmus, who was one of the ones who developed the idea of change over time in geology. That's going to contribute mightily to Darwin's theory.
Okay.
So yeah, there is some of that floating around.
But it's
It's just there's no. It's whether you accept it or not, because
right.
the
Okay.
science isn't there yet.
Right. Okay.
The ideas are there. The science to back them is not.
Okay.
Is it so we haven't discovered dinosaurs, right?
1811.
Not as such.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some bones have been found, but the term dinosaur has not yet been coined.
Dragons.
Or monsters or some
Yes.
such.
Right.
So we know the place, Edgeworth. We don't know the time. And if Dr. Blythe is correct, and he most likely is, it will take many people to summon Enzilu or Azazil. But
But here's the problem. When I say it's metaphorical, I think I mean that. The visitation of Anzilu does not call forth a being in the flesh.
But we
That
have
would be
someone.
wait,
We
let
have
him finish.
someone.
Let him finish. Wait.
Oh, okay.
that would be too destructive. In other words, to call such a being, to ask it to visit someone, is simply to end them. No, none of us could survive a moment in the presence of such a thing. No more than we could stand on the sun.
But this Billy Ludd claims to be Anzulu or Enzilu.
Well, he can claim all that he likes. Doesn't make him correct. It simply makes him mad.
Azazil. He claims to be Azazil, not
Oh,
Enzilu.
Azazil. Okay.
Not that there might be any difference.
I'm. Yeah, I'm very
No, you're
confused by all of
correct.
this, but yeah.
I'm hoping a bullet will stop that, but I don't know if
So
it will or not.
Well, here's yet another
If it-
potential problem or potential solution,
Oh dear.
and I don't know how or which. The word Azazel is Hebrew in its origin, referring to a place or perhaps a scapegoat. The procedure is described, of course, in Enoch. The word Anzilu is Sumerian. It is entirely possible that these do not refer to the same thing directly, and that someone along the way conflated one with the other. I don't know. I'm merely pointing out the derivations here.
If Azalu is the scapegoat is the one that the Jews told their sins to. Is this correct? I'm not.
And then sent,
And then
yes,
sent it
and
off to die
in,
in the
in
wilderness.
Enoch, if I remember correctly, yes, they cast lots on two goats, and the one goat was sent to the place called Azazil. There are different derivations of the word. The one that I favor suggests from a root that means abandoned or forsaken.
hmm Where'd the other goat go?
The other goat was slaughtered as a sacrifice. So one goat, they would cast a lot. One goat was for the Lord and would be sacrificed, and the other would be cast forth.
Azazel, which maybe is what
Into
Billy
the place
Ludd
Azazel.
is. Is Billy Ludd the scapegoat then? But
If they cast him into the place Azazil,
which is on Duck Island, at least according to
Yes.
Mister Grissom.
Right.
so do you suppose if they imagine Ludd to be their goat, they will cast him into that place?
To take all his sins away from them, but to what purpose?
That I do not know. But if they're following the same train of logic that I am, then the name is both place and thing,
Hmm.
goat and person. And if this man calls himself Azazel,
He
the
does.
fallen angel, the demon, and that place calls itself Azazel, and how do you know the place on Duck Island is called Azazel?
Well, Grissom told me two others of the church were there. They
Ah,
seemed quite confident in themselves. They didn't say it, but they did say, "Go see for yourself." And that's when I saw madness,
right.
the strangeness
So
that's there.
Duck Island has become the place Azazel.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Ludd has become the demon Azazel.
Mm-hmm.
It seems perhaps that they should not get together.
Probably.
Although how that might be achieved, I've no idea.
Not in a way that's legal.
Well, I mean, if we were desperate enough, then no, no, I would not. I would not think it wise to attempt the visitation of Anzilo to destroy Mr. Brown.
Well, then
Sorry,
that leaves us another. Oh, go ahead, Edgeworth. I apologize.
sorry. No, no, no. Do we think they're working on a time limit here? That there's a limited window of opportunity before their attempt to perform this ritual fizzles.
Well, it seems that if Azazel is now a place, it may not be that place forever.
They like to
In my
meet.
research, oh sorry,
No, when is it that they like to normally meet? When is their normal services,
Friday
Doctor
night
Payne?
at dusk, or just after dusk, Friday night, is when they summon these things. Um, have the papers had anything? Were there any more sightings last night? Sunday night?
Nope,
Okay.
nope.
So just Friday night was the only time there were sightings?
Six of them Friday night.
Likely it's Friday night.
So yeah,
Excuse me.
repeating cycles. I in my in my research, it seemed that this has happened before over and over again. Perhaps they are working within a window of opportunity, uh, one that might not open again for hundreds of years. If we could, we might not even need to murder this gentleman. If we waylaid Ludd in some way, perhaps
He can walk
for
through
long
walls,
enough.
according to him.
Well,
That's what he
he said
says.
he could. That doesn't
He
mean it's
says
true.
that doesn't mean it's true.
He's also going to be
But if we
very
waylay,
heavily protected.
true. But say we were to uh, suggest that he was responsible for some kind of illicit activity, and we involved law enforcement. They picked him up and took him away for a while.
They would never be able to get to him. There were hundreds
No.
of people. You saw how many people were waiting to see him.
Yes.
How many Bow Street runners are there? 2 dozen, maybe?
And not enough constables in all the city of London.
Mm,
Unless,
that's fair.
unless fire purifies. Yes, fire purifies. That's the truth, isn't it?
Is it true?
Well, those who made accusations of witchcraft thought so. I wouldn't give them much credence if I were you.
We could set fire to his building and then
That's what I was
blame him
thinking.
for it.
Um,
Is there a way to keep this Billy Ludd from reaching Duck Island?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to think of.
again,
I mean,
again.
other than ourselves summoning the visitation of Anzilo and letting it.
If Enzilu and Azazil are different, I would agree with you, Doctor Blythe, that the summoning of this thing is a terrible, terrible idea.
Well, it
I
is.
thought that's what they were.
Regardless of whether they are or not, it's still a terrible idea,
Yes, I was
and I
hoping you had some
suspect that
kind
we would
of.
probably die in the process.
I was hoping you had some kind of counterspell, or some way
Or at
of
least
of
knew of the
dismissing
such.
it if it shows up.
That's never how such things work.
I don't know. That's why
If one calls forth a thing, then the thing is called forth. One can no more take back a spell than one can take back a spoken word.
But unless the Shantaks have, and this is supposition, taught Father Reverend Brown how to do it, we
It's
still don't
possible.
know why. I'm gonna have to go talk to Reverend Brown again, aren't I?
It seems like a poor choice.
I do think you have the right of it. I do think that whatever is happening, it's happening Friday. I think that there are repeating cycles to this, that there's something that is it's I don't know why, but that feels right.
It's every.
Well, say if not this Friday, a Friday in the future.
A Friday.
Every 540 to 580 years, this has happened, according to your research, with the dates that you've given us.
Mhm.
How did you leave it off
124,
with Brown?
633, 1231, 1813.
124,
roughly-
672,
Oh, 672.
1231, 1811.
Yeah. So it's not a consistent pattern unless
No.
we're missing the math.
But it's roughly 550 years.
Yeah.
One of the newest one is 580 years. So maybe it's not a pattern. Maybe it's just coincidence. What were you saying, Baker? I'm sorry.
Dr. Payne, I was just curious, how did you leave it off with the baker? Would he be tipped off if you came to visit him again?
With Brown?
With Brown, I mean. Yes.
No, not necessarily. If I came to him again, Doctor Blythe thinks it'd be a bad idea for me to talk to him again. I believe, didn't you? Wasn't that Blythe that said that would be a terrible idea to go back to Brown
Yeah,
and chat with him?
he thought so. And he's lost in thought at the moment.
That's fine. Well, I'm gonna just talk like he's not there, or
Ooh. You see what I just rolled?
no. Hold on.
2.
Dice roll.
Oh,
A 2. Yeah, nice.
Blythe says, "Give me a paper, will you, please?"
Oh, of course. I fetch him paper, quill, and pencils, so he can use whatever he wants.
And he begins doing some calculating.
And what was
Do
your
any of you
question,
gentlemen-
Baker?
I was just wondering, would he be tipped off
Oh.
if you...
I think they
Let's
think
see
I am
what
an
I got.
ally of the church at this juncture, unless they talk to Grissom, and Grissom reveals me. I think they probably don't trust me. I haven't gone mad, but they grudgingly they accept me at this juncture.
Do any of you know anything about astronomy?
No, 1%. No. I'm gonna sip some more brandy and try to calm myself.
Because I had a thought, and I lack the knowledge to work it out. So the pattern is not a set number of years. But consider this. The transit of Venus. You've heard of it, no doubt.
Let's say that I have.
It occurs in pairs divided by an 8-year span. However, because Venus, as I understand it, has an eccentric orbit compared to the Earth, the the time span between the transits is not always the same.
All
In
right.
other words,
Oh, yeah, there's astronomy.
we're seeing a pattern that's not evident to our eyes in the number of times this recurs. Perhaps the pattern includes a variable that we are not seeing.
Yeah, perhaps.
Mm.
So I thought first
And yet,
of starscapes because I thought of the transit of Venus, but that doesn't, I don't know what the variable actually is. It merely occurs to me that if there's a variable we're missing, that would give us the element of time.
How do we find out this
mm,
variable?
That I'm not certain. But you see what I'm thinking on the matter,
Yes, yes.
that
Yes.
we would establish the pattern. After all, the transit of Venus was predictable, and in years past, men of science were sent to measure it on both occasions. By the way, he's talking about 1761, 1769, when they actually did send dozens of people out to measure the transit of Venus. Arguably the first true multinational scientific project.
mm.
Any of you have points in science, any kind of science would know that.
Only
Nope.
natural philosophy,
Yeah.
because there are no
Yeah,
sciences in Regency Cthulhu,
if
except
you have
for
natural philosophy, you've heard of that.
astronomy. Okay, then
Yeah.
I note that I have heard of that.
Yeah, you've heard of, maybe you don't know the math, but you heard the fact they sent out people
I
to
don't
measure
know
it
the math.
and didn't realize that there was a variable involved. But they knew in advance when it would happen, so they sent people to measure it.
Right.
They knew the day.
How would we learn this variable?
That he does not know. The point is that that's what he's thinking, is that if we understood the missing variable, we could actually learn the time. We could narrow the time down a lot. Because notice each time in what Edgeworth has discovered, each time this has appeared, it appears for a period of days or weeks and then seems to disappear again.
Mm.
And there seems to be several hundred years between each appearance, or potentially between each appearance where somebody knows what's going on.
Yeah. Now it's possible that the things appeared and nobody saw it.
Yeah, it could happen every year,
Yeah.
as far as we know, and there wasn't anybody messing around.
But the fact is, the appearances that are visible to the human eye, you can chart. This is
Wait,
the fourth.
Cameron and Collins.
Yeah.
They might have an idea on that. They control these things.
They think they do anyway. Yeah, they might know.
I was trying to talk to Edgeworth and he left. About he's the closest contact. Who talked to Cameron and Collins? It was Edgeworth and was it Baker?
I believe it was Illingsworth, actually.
Was it Illingsworth? Okay, they're both gone.
Maybe.
Oof.
Whoops, and we lost people. Oh, they're back. Okay. There we are. Oh,
Edgeworth, you talked to Cameron and Collins. You and Illingsworth, correct?
Yes.
All right. You need to take
Do you
this
think they might
information
be
to them and see if they have any insight.
any insight into the variable?
If they wanted to see Anzalou, tell her where it is. Not Anzalou.
Yep.
Azazil.
You guys know.
Tell them
You
where it
know
is.
where. Yeah, you know where. Maybe they know when.
Or tell them we know where, and we'll share the information. Tell them you know where, and you will share that information if they can tell you the when and
You
what
might be able to make a deal.
the connections
You
of
know-
these dates are.
You know where. They know when. Maybe you can make a deal if that's true.
Find a local place, and the rest of us will wait. Well, take Illingsworth, because he also talked to them. Didn't you talk to them, Illingsworth, that night? Who met with them that night?
We could talk to them at the clubhouse.
You could. They're frequently found hanging around the club.
The club members might not be very happy if we start shooting people there.
Well, the club members won't be happy if you shoot somebody anywhere, in all fairness.
Yes. Anyway you want, Edgeworth. This is you're the one
murder,
who spoke
murder
to
is
them.
not more acceptable if you do it in other places.
Well, was Illingsworth there? Who went with Edgeworth that night? It was Baker. I thought it was Baker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mr.
because
Baker?
Illingsworth was on his own for.
Okay, so it's you two then.
So it's Baker. So the two of you should approach them. Tell them you know where Azazil is, but you need to know
Okay.
when Azazil is. And
Mm,
don't give them the location unless they give you, or even give them a false location. I don't know. If either one of you are very good at telling tales, I'm not.
So, do you want to go down to the club and see if
Yes,
they're there?
do it tonight. Let's all go. I'm gonna go
Oh,
too.
let's all go.
yeah, why not? I mean, you're all members, so
Um,
why not?
has there been any notes? Where's Professor Blythe? Where's Dr. Blythe staying?
He was probably going to take a room at the club because
Okay,
he doesn't
that's
want to resume his old apartment.
all right. I offer him if he wants to stay here.
He could do that. That would
Although
also work.
although many of those in the church know me and where I live.
Yeah. In fact, he's probably going to take a room at the club
Okay,
then and
okay.
bring the tablet with him. It'll be harder to steal from a place where there's so many eyes.
Yes, yes. And can I please suggest, Dr. Blythe, if you're about to have the tablet stolen again and you have the opportunity, smash it with a hammer.
Mm,
I
hate to do such a
understand
thing.
the great value of it, but I also understand its excessive danger if it works.
I'm aware. I am.
All right.
So
All
I
right.
think basically all five of you are going to head down the street to the club.
I'm not we're not going to go in. I'm not going in the same time as the others though.
Yeah. Space yourself out a bit.
Yes.
So probably Baker and Edgeworth first
They'll
to
give
see if the
I'm going to
two
give
guys you're looking for are there. And the short
Oh.
answer is yes. Yes, they are.
Oh god. All
You
right.
will find Mr. Cameron and Mr. Collins seated at a little table. They are going over some notes.
I'm going to casually stroll up to them. Uh, Baker, will you join me?
Yes.
Okay. So stroll up to the two of them. And Collins looks up. Gentlemen?
Good evening, gentlemen.
He closes the book, by the way, as he realizes you're there. The one they were
Do
working
we get a
with.
glimpse of the cover?
Ooh,
The cover it's a commonplace book. It has nothing on the cover. With a spot hidden roll, you could see what they were writing before he closed the book.
Okay.
You've seen them using these kind of notebooks before. How'd you do there? Excuse me. Any luck?
let you make this one, Josh. Josh, you still there?
Can you hear us?
No, no luck. 94.
Okay. Yeah, no, he closed the
Ah,
book. He saw you coming and closed the book before you got too close. So, what can we do for you, gentlemen?
we wanted to have a continuation of our previous discussion.
Oh,
The
then
mutual aid with our ongoing research activities.
we should perhaps take this conversation upstairs.
Felt just the same.
So, you will. And once you're in a more secluded location. So, what do you mean by that, says Mr. Cameron. You sound like
Things
you said only half of what you meant.
things are progressing, gentlemen. I'll be blunt. We are in need
Sightings.
of your expertise
Oh,
as we have potentially discovered the location of Azazil, but not the time.
I don't think Anzalou has a location.
Anzalu,
Azazil.
Azazil,
You mean Azazel?
Azazel.
Azazel? Either way. So you think you know where it is.
Yes,
Okay.
but there is a missing variable that we're looking for. Uh, some way in which the church and previous attempts to summon or contact this being uh, a repeating time period that we can't nail down. We have some dates. We've been gathering information about when there have potentially been previous attempts to bridge the divide to contact this being,
Mm.
but summon this thing. But
I
we're missing something.
the time frame.
Time frame.
So here's the thing. As far as we understand, and I'm being now completely frank with you, you don't summon such a thing. Like, are you familiar with the stories of the fairy? How when you cross a barrier, you're in their world, and everything is
Mhm.
different. More like that.
They'll be going
Like
to them or a middle place.
they're here and we are there at the same time. Their physics, their universe, their reality is not ours, as near as I can explain. And Collins jumps in with, "You're not doing a great job of it." I'm sorry, okay? And in these moments, by the way,
Lover spat.
yeah, it's in these moments where you can see the little things, like where Collins says, "I'm doing okay," hand on hand, like a little touch,
Oh,
where if you know what to look for, you can see their relationship.
If only they weren't
mm.
horrible evil wizards.
Or that. So
So it's more like
periodically,
a. Oh, sorry, you go first.
you know the story of Thomas the Rhymer,
Thomas the Rhyme.
who went away to Fairy and then came back, and it was many, many, many years later.
Yes.
How time moves differently there. We've come to
Ah.
believe that those are memories of this folktale versions of a reality in which time and space and the universe are different.
Hmm.
There is a variable of time. I just don't know that we can perceive it in a conventional sense, which led us to seek out other avenues of knowledge.
An unconventional sense.
Precisely. And here, and at this point, Cameron will begin fishing through papers in a trunk. Here, we think we found an avenue to understand that. And the two of them look at each other like, are we trusting them with this?
We've already read those papers.
Actually, some of them you have. Yeah, some of them you actually have. Here, where is it? Here we are. Uh, this is our translation of the Al-Hazran Papyrus. And Al-Hazran was working from the 10 treatises on the eye. And he argues that there is a means by which we can attune our eyes to that which we cannot see under other circumstances,
Mm.
as if through a glass, in the way that a man with a lens can see things which the eye cannot see. By making use of Al-Hazrad's illuminations, we believe we have come to the variable of time that forms no pattern in our mathematics. And in all fairness, neither of us have pieced out the math to make this work. There is no expression in conventional mathematics for it. But we do believe that that brings us to the time frame of the present, and a span that corresponds to approximately 140 hours.
140 hours.
Precisely. Of
Roughly.
which Approximately 30 have been used. So
We are
if
in it.
we are, and if we trust Al-Hazrad, Azazil will remain cojoint with our universe for 110 hours more, give or take.
All right.
That's just under a week, if my math is correct.
It's
4
the math
days.
that's the hardest of this. By the way, just so you guys know at a meta level, what they're talking about is what we would call chaos math, which doesn't exist yet.
Mhm.
In other words, they've encountered mathematics they understand there's no mathematics for.
Yeah.
So they can't figure it out further. But apparently Al-Hazrad came up with a solution to that several hundred years ago.
Mhm.
Al-Hazrad, so they've got access to the Al-Azif. That's what it looks like.
Well, that
If they're talking about the
poses.
same guy.
It
Then
makes me wonder about if this realm doesn't matter for time. Is it one of those cases where it's the past and present are happening simultaneously, the future's happening simultaneously, that kind of thing?
Maybe from the perspective of those inside the realm.
Mhm.
Certainly not from our perspective. But I suppose it all is a matter of perspective, isn't it? I mean,
From my
consider this.
perspective, London is in a whole lot of danger.
Well, yes, but I mean, consider this. Up until the first man flew in a balloon, no one had ever seen a perspective of a city from the air. No man could describe that with any accuracy because there was no way by which it could be done. Now, a man could rise 5,000 feet into the air and behold an entire city in the sweep of one gaze. In other words, our perspective changes as we change. Am I making sense? No, sir, you are not. And there's the little touch again. As in, I remind you, you're losing it a little. Calm down, kid. We're good. Gotcha. So it seems to me
Thank you.
that we have a window in which to visit this place, Azazil.
Mhm.
You know where it is.
I do. We do.
Tell us then.
Gentlemen, you have been nothing but blunt with me. Nothing but honest. What are your motives for this? Tell me true.
They look at each other. There must be a bigger world than this. There are more things than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
A
We
place
both grew
beyond,
up knowing that. A place beyond, yes. A world beyond.
place beyond, a place beyond the small minds of mortal men.
A place where the mathematics I've stumbled upon I could understand. We were meant
Like,
for more than this.
mm,
And all around us are all these men They'll go about their lives with their eyes cast to the ground. Was it the bard who said, "We are a small thing, but some of us are looking at the stars"?
This is
They
heading
look at,
Edgeworth exactly where he lives.
and they look at each other like, are they sure? Whose quote was that?
I'm gonna tell them.
Okay.
Duck
Well,
I'm gonna
Island.
Duck Island,
Watch out for the spider webs.
and I
are,
do warn them about something is lurking. Uh,
are you planning to go there yourself?
with any luck, I will never set foot on that island.
Oh, you're
Okay.
going. You're going, bitch.
Probably going though.
Because if
I've
you're
got
going,
terrible
then I
luck.
would suggest that we form one party for this purpose.
One party?
You and ourselves and whoever else you see fit to invite. And we were perhaps safer in numbers.
I think
And
that's
I,
nice.
adds Mr. Cameron, I will delve myself into Al Hazrat and prepare my eyes for this purpose, that perhaps we might learn something more while we're there. And you could see Collins like, you sure you're up to that? Like serious concern. Like,
I had very much concern just at the thought of that phrase. So
Well, I think we'll take a few moments to communicate with our compatriots.
please.
We'll
And
return
then
shortly.
we will plan as to when we will launch this endeavor.
Absolutely. I'm gonna look to Baker and exit the room.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
Downstairs,
find
we're
Yep.
definitely
I'm gonna
in
go
by
And
find
then, and I would have
yep.
inquired.
Dr. Payne.
I would have inquired as to people, subtly different people for different. Have you seen Cameron? Have you seen Edgeworth? Have you seen Collins? Have you seen, spreading out, trying
Several
to figure
people
out
will
what happened.
several people will tell you that they're upstairs.
I find that they all went off together. Oh, he went off with the other people.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
good.
they saw the four of them heading
Oh,
upstairs.
so I go to the bar and have another brandy to
Yep.
try to brace myself and wait for the gunfire and screams from above.
Which
Gonna
And it doesn't
didn't happen
happen.
apparently.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna come downstairs. Hopefully Baker will join me if he doesn't have anything else to discuss with Cameron Collins.
Does he?
Uh,
As there's, I share. You had me worried there for a second, old chum. I thought you were going to reveal much more.
Josh, could you speak up? I can barely hear you.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to reveal much more when you were saying forthcoming and being blunt. I was worried you were going to counter chickens before they hatch, kind of thing.
I don't need to know everything. Just enough. Just enough to remain useful.
I never pictured Edgeworth as his father. Cha 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 cha.
Da-da-da.
Okay,
All right, let's find
the four of us.
Illingsworth and Payne.
Do we get? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
Oh, you're good.
oh, they head
Okay.
downstairs.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
we
they
head
did.
downstairs.
I'm at the bar.
I wave for Brandy myself.
What happened?
110 hours left on the clock.
What does that put? What is their? Okay, if they're correct, I'm gonna do some math. Where is that? Friday night is when it's over. Saturday
Should be
morning, early morning,
about
Saturday
that.
morning. Okay,
One more.
I want to find out exactly what
Four
Edgeworth told them.
is
110 hours is
four and a
four
half days.
days.
Four and a
Yeah,
half days.
4.58333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333333
Thursday, Friday.
Friday
Friday.
Well, that doesn't mean they'll wait,
night.
but they probably will. It would be very, and
They probably
his
will.
math might not be as good. Um, yeah, I want to know everything you told them. Did you tell them about
Gave them,
the cult knows where this place is? That the church
I did not
knows?
say that. I didn't say that. I did say that I did give them the location of Duck
Yeah,
Hut,
yeah, yeah. That's
and I did warn them about the
that's fine.
spiders.
Well, we don't know if it's spiders. We don't know what it is. I guess my big
Oh,
question then is
something lurking.
should we something should we tell them about the cult and what they're hoping to do and see if we can get any input on possibly what they theorize Brown might be up to? Because from what we learned, they knew
Wait.
Brown had information that they were trying to get
Yep.
Yes.
and
And
all
they're
this,
opposing
and so
cult.
they know about the church, and we should have
Mhm.
definitely at least warned them about this and tell them to be
Absolutely.
heavily armed.
Yes, they're proposing that we go as a single party, so
That's fun.
we can definitely communicate, especially if we believe that the cult is making their way on Friday. We'll have time for preparations.
We don't know that
Yep.
it's Friday.
But if we believe that they might go sooner, but
It won't be if their numbers are right. It won't be later than Friday.
Right.
it won't be
It
later.
might be sooner, but it won't be later. The co-joint of Earth and Azazil will last
Okay.
only until basically late Friday or Saturday morning.
Let's all meet. Let's put our cards on the table. Is Dr.
Mhm.
Payne's suggestion. Let's go talk to
Okay.
Cameron and Collins. They didn't reveal all they know. We
Yep.
haven't revealed all we know.
Okay.
We don't
But
have to talk about
we
Anzaloo
know
and all that
enough.
crap, because Anzaloo summoning doesn't appear to be really connected, as so long as Brown does not get the tablet.
Mhm.
But we can tell them that what the cult's doing, what they're up to, find out what they know of the cult. Maybe they have a better idea of what the cult is trying to, what Brown is trying to accomplish. They might even know more about Brown than we've been able to learn to date. Um, that's Dr. Payne's suggestion. Just straight up put all the cards on the table and see if us as two groups can help each other. You told me about this whole, they want to have more information and they want another world, a better place, kind of for them, and that
Yep.
obviously has to do with their relationship and everything, and
Mhm.
wanting
Well,
to be able to be,
a bit,
huh?
Very sweet.
a bit of it. No, part of
Yeah,
it is
some
tied
of
to
it.
their magicians.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
Hey, so am I.
Yeah.
Um,
Technically
so
now, yes.
yeah, yay. So that's Dr. Payne's suggestion. We
Oh,
could
and
leave
if
Illingsworth
you
out as a wild card to start with, at least, if that's what Illingsworth wants, or we
could
could
follow
just
later,
all go in together and be like, "Here's what's going on." We don't have to bring Delacourt into it at all because that's really seems kind of,
unless you want a view from above.
well,
True.
Oh.
Mm.
yeah, for the
I do
bird killing
think
monsters to attack her again.
so. So at the moment, I do think we should all go in. I think this is a
Yeah,
cards on the table moment.
Okay.
But second, I do think that after our meeting here tomorrow, I'll send a letter to connect with her. We should inform Ms. Delacourt
yeah.
so that she's in the loop as well,
You
because
should have
she's a
done
part
it
of our
before
conspiracy.
this. I'm gonna say to
Oh,
To Edgeworth very pointedly.
I guess it'll
absolutely.
have to be
I
now.
didn't want to go to her with a pocket full of promises. I wanted to have something solid.
You forgot all about
I
it,
wanted to
didn't
make.
you, Edgeworth? You just totally forgot
I
about it,
did
didn't you?
not. I did
Oh,
not.
Edgeworth, I'm so disappointed.
I
Now it
wanted
is
to
in
impress
real
her.
folks. In real life, it is 11 o'clock. So
Mm-hmm.
this seems
Yeah.
like a point to stop off and Basically, you have a couple of weeks to decide how you want to play this.
Okay.
Agreed.
But now
Well,
we know
Dr. Payne
where.
is honest. He's
Yep.
willing to just tell him everything, except for things that
Yep.
don't matter, he thinks.
And you've got a
Like
couple of allies.
Delacourt.
One thing Blythe can tell you after the fact
Hmm.
is that he's pretty sure he knows who they're talking about.
Who?
Al-Hazrad. Because he knows.
Yeah, I know
he
who
knows
they're
the
talking
name.
about. My character doesn't, but I know.
Well, he does. He believes the man they're talking about is Yusuf bin Dwali al-Bashir al-Hazrad, who's a 14th century Islamic scholar and widely reputed to be a magician.
And wrote the Necronomicon.
No, that would be.
Oh, it's a different guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Different guy.
That would be Abd al-Hazred, which is badly pronounced.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
not the same. Not the same person.
I thought they had gotten a hold of Al-Azif or the Necronomicon, and they were like, "Ooh, this has got some cool stuff in it."
Yeah,
So
because
we must.
Face
what Dr.
melt.
Blythe knows is that Al-Hazrad is supposedly a magician, which means their reference is probably something from his book.
Okay.
Which means they have access to that.
Cards on table. I'm hoping,
Okay.
and I'm telling you this, Kevin, as a player,
Mhm.
that they can give us some kind of an idea of what the hell Brown is hoping to accomplish, because that seems to be our biggest problem right now. Is we cannot figure out what his end goal is.
Well, now we know. Now we know
What
the
is-
where. We know the when. All we don't know is the why.
Yeah, and I'm hoping they
That's
can
the
help.
final part.
If these cultists have been, because they have dealt with Brown apparently from the sound of their notes, right?
Oh yeah.
They know Brown is. They had it. They probably talked to him. They were probably trying to get information from him. Maybe they can clue us in on the why.
Yep. Well, that's probably where we'll start next time then.
Oh man.
I do
Okay.
want to say,
Close.
Kevin,
So close.
so close.
I've been
Kevin-
Yeah, I
close
expect
to-
next time we'll probably wrap this one up.
Okay.
Everything on Duck Island. I loved everything on Duck Island.
I hated it.
Caretaker was so. I was dying laughing. It was so good.
Oh well, thank you.
What with
was
crazy
amazing.
guy or with the
The
freaking
crazy guy.
Oh, wow.
poor
You just walk
Grissom?
into a
I
room
felt
and
terrible.
like there's a dead pelican on the floor. and then,
No, the dead
like,
pelican was over
walls
there.
lined
It
with-
was
well,
Yeah, he had to dig up the dead pelican, but a guy is talking to a duck.
Yeah, you got a problem with the guys having a deep
Like-
conversation
like
with a
he's a
duck.
knight.
That
like
ain't
he's a knight nonetheless.
that ain't nothing compared to some of the shit
Well-
I seen.
But
well,
you came
right.
back. I mean, he was holding a
it's just
debate.
so absurd. It's great. And all the ducks in every
Well,
duck
so-
from the pond in cages.
I was
Yep.
scared to
and
touch
he
the
had three of
spider
them and
webs.
three of the pelicans out, and he was.
Oh,
he was
I
holding
was
a
scared
debate.
for you to touch the spider webs as well.
My fear on the spider webs is what are spider webs? When a spider feels that little pull on the web,
Exactly,
they're like
that-
wherever
that's
they are in their web, they're
exactly-
like, I know there's something there. And I figured the second I touched the spider web, something was coming after me.
Like you said, you were going to
No,
collect
no.
some. I'm like, no, don't collect some.
I
That's
just
a bad idea.
Got some on the floor.
believe
I
you-
thought about looking in the
I
well,
believe
and
you-
I'm like, that never ends well.
Oh yeah, no, like
I believe you've
that'd
still
be
got
even
some.
worse.
You have a
I do.
sample of the
It's
web
in a
that done.
jar.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a little sample of the webbing, which will probably prove to be completely. I don't know. Do they have what the hell is it called? What are the lines that you use? Spectroscopes yet? They don't have those yet, do they? Where you can
Spectroscope.
tell
No, I
the
don't think so.
the elements possibly by the color. When you burn
well,
something, you can it'll
There
shine.
are ways. Well, there are ways to do that using
Okay.
various tests, and the periodic table of the elements is only about 20 years old.
Okay. Because I figured I'd want to get somebody to examine the webbing at some point.
Yeah, well, that's a function of the natural philosophy skill.
Yeah,
that's the thing
but I've
you
only
can do
got
yourself.
21%, so I don't have that.
Oh.
I'm not very good.
Yeah, so maybe you want someone else to help you with
A
that.
chemist or something.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, yeah, I think we leave Delacourt. We leave Delacourt as our ace in the hole, and don't mention her at all. And find out if she's a good. Find out if she can shoot a gun, because we might need that at some point. Oh my
Well, I
God!
bet
And you're
she can
suggesting
shoot a
that
gun.
she go up in a balloon over all this crap? What is wrong with you,
With a
Kevin?
gun. She's
What
a
is
sniper.
wrong with you?
Oh,
Great. Oh, or I
Bird's eye
could be the
view.
sniper and she could have the balloon.
How
yeah.
romantic. And Aunt, you're gonna have
Very
to take you're
romantic.
gonna have to take Auntie with you, or what's her face. Don't forget.
Lavinia.
You
Yeah.
always need a chaperone.
Lavinia. You can't be up in that balloon with just her. That would be
See,
scandalous.
the aunt is on melee, right? In case the bird comes, if in case the thing gets too
Demon.
close,
Yeah.
then the demon gets too
Oh
close. She
yeah,
takes out
yeah.
a like old
Lavinia's a
cavalry
natural with
sword.
the
And
broadsword. She just is awesome with the broadsword. She'll be
Yeah.
fine.
All right. Are we? What are we looking at in terms of hopefully getting to the last of this particular scenario?
I'm gonna run
Uh,
down darker
I,
trails next week. I
so
think. Right now, it looks like it's gonna be a short scenario, a short probably a short
yeah.
session of just kind of moving
Well,
back into the real world. But
yeah. Well, I've got a softball game at 5, but they're really emphasizing pace of play this year, so it'll probably be done before 7.
that's fine. And I'm gonna start with Sean and Aaron because they wake up
Okay.
there in Saltmarsh, and then we're gonna move on to you and
Okay.
you and
Josie.
Josie, and you guys. We're gonna figure out if you guys are coming to Saltmarsh, what the logistics of that are, and that kind of thing. Um,
Okay.
and
So
that might
how
be
does
where
the
we
six?
end as you guys meet up and kind of figure out
Okay.
if you
How
guys
does the 16th work for us? Two
this
weeks out.
yeah, the 16th is, should be fine for me.
Is that good for
sounds good
everybody?
for me.
I should be
Okay.
fine with that.
I'm
I
putting that
have
in.
no life.
8 p.m.
Don't get out of my head, Aaron.
Okay. I put that
I'm
in for
talking
8.
about
For
my
8
head.
p.m.
Regis
If I
Talk
Cthulhu,
if
about
I
my
have
yeah,
the
2 weeks on the 16th.
yeah,
Yes.
and if I have a game, it should 8 p.m. should be fine. I'm giving
All right.
myself a little insurance there, because high school
Yeah.
games are usually 5 o'clock if they're on weekdays. So I should be back in time,
Okay.
one way or the other.
All right. So we're on the
I
Oh,
stream. Let's end the stream. Everybody say goodbye.
yeah.
We'll do that first.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.